know
Good afternoon and welcome back to Ellis Oval and into the Jumbo Zone. I'm Riley Dennis, joined by Noah Goldstein, and we are here for the finale of the 2024 NESCAC football season. The Jumbos on Senior Day play host to the Middlebury Panthers in a game that will decide who finishes second in the NESCAC in one of the biggest rivalry matchups in all of the NESCAC on Rivalry Day here in the greatest league in New England. Of course, this is a historic matchup. These two teams have played a million times. Last year they played on the road at Middlebury in a game that ended up deciding who won the NESCAC title, with the Panthers clinching a share of the NESCAC title with their win over the Jumbos. The question today isn't who can win the NESCAC title, at least here. That'll be decided in Connecticut. But the question is whether the Jumbos can get to 7 wins for the first time since 1978. And you may be wondering, how have they had such a good season? Well, we'll take a look at that right now, because they were 2-2 after a loss here at the Ellis Oval against Trinity when things just started going really well for them, Noah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you always want to play your best football towards the end of the season, and that's what we're seeing with this Jumbos team on a 4-game winning streak, wins over Bates, Hamilton, Williams, and most recently Colby. And that one, Christian Shapiro rushed for over 100 yards and had 2 touchdowns. Berluti also 2 touchdowns, 1 through the air to senior Cade Moore, 1 on the ground using his legs. And this win here today would give Tufts their first 5-game winning streak in a single season. Their third 5-game winning streak in a single season since 1990. Certainly a tremendous feat. And as they heat up towards the end of the season, they've been limiting mistakes mostly. I think they came into the season and mistakes killed them in a lot of those early games as they started 2-2. Recently, Berluti 7 touchdowns through the air and on the ground and only 1 interception over those periods. They're keeping the ball, they're playing their best football, and they have the wins to show for it.
They do. In fact, the wins have been so good as of late that Jay Savetti has an opportunity to do something that he has never done in his career, and that is get above 500 for his winning percentage as a Jumbos coach. Mind you, know what? This was someone who started his Jumbos career in an infamous level of lack of success at 0-24 to start off. But here he is, 55-55 through 110 games, with the opportunity to get above 500 for the first time in his career, which is almost unfathomable.
I mean, yeah, it definitely means a lot for Coach Savetti. He's turned this program around. It's been fun to watch, even though really only been here for this season, but fun to hear about, research at least. And I think, that maybe means that this game could mean even a little more for Coach Savetti. Obviously, it's Senior Day, festivities going on even behind us, but this game just packed with meaning for the Jumbos, and they're going to give it their all today, trying to secure 7 wins, trying to secure that winning record for Coach Savetti as well.
On the other side, the Middlebury Panthers also looking to get to 7 wins. It would be their second consecutive season at 7 wins, but this has been a really inconsistent Middlebury team. You look at the schedule they've had, and you wonder at times how they're not 9-0, and at times how they're not 4-5, because they've had some phenomenal wins, such as going to the reigning NESCAC champs Trinity and getting a 24-21 win. But on the other side, they do have losses to a 1-5 Bates team at home, a 43-7 loss in week 1 against Wesleyan. So you really don't know what you're going to see any given week with the Middlebury Panthers, which is kind of a contrast to the Jumbos, who were like that for the first month of the season, but have really started to become more consistent. And one place you want to look when you're trying to figure out what we're going to see from these two teams would be that matchup between the Jumbos passing attack and the Middlebury passing defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm looking all day today for sure. I think that although the Jumbos have picked it up on the ground recently, especially Christian Shapiro, I think it really will be through the air that this game gets decided, as it has in the past, especially if we look at that game 2 years ago. But I think I'm looking at the matchup between Cade Moore and Teddy Daniel there on the outside. Cade Moore has been Berluti's go-to target this season, kind of was in more of a backup wide receiver 2 role last year with Jaden Richardson. He's since departed. Moore has stepped up 600 yards on the season with 6 touchdowns, already 100 yards and a touchdown more, as well as 5 more receptions on the season than he did in the last campaign. 1 game obviously still to go here. And I think as he stepped up, he's built up that chemistry with Berluti, and he's been pretty successful against Middlebury in the past. He has 9 catches for 121 yards, yet to get into the end zone against Middlebury. That I think could change today. But I think Berluti is looking at him first on a lot of targets. He's running a lot of easy routes, getting a lot of catches, and getting chances to move out in space. He's also a good deep threat. He has a chance to break one big. He has 2 catches for over 40 yards so far this season. Last year, he didn't even have a single one. On the other end, though, the person making it difficult for him is going to be Teddy Daniel, I think number 14. That's where I'm going to be looking all day for Middlebury on the defensive side. He's second in the NESCAC with 11 pass defensives, and he's really been heating up over the last couple of games. 2 interceptions and 8 pass defenses in his last 5 games, becoming a true ball hawk. And last year we saw him have his first career interception versus Tufts in 2023. That was his first. He's followed that up with 3 so far this season. And I think, Riley, this is a team in Middlebury that can play man. They can also play zone. But I think when it comes to it, it's going to be Daniel versus Moore in one-on-one. And it's just going to be whoever can win the routes and get the ball. And that's going to really end up deciding a lot of this game overall for Tufts offense versus Middlebury's defense.
I think that's a great assessment, Noah. I mean, looking at the last 2 matchups of this historic matchup, which Middlebury does have the 22-11 advantage in all time, you see 2 very different stories. Last year, a 19-10 game in which the Jumbos just simply were not able to get the pass offense going at all, shut down pass defense from Middlebury. On the other side, you look at 2 years ago in what was the most efficient offensive game in Jumbo's program history. Michael Berluti throwing for 7 passing touchdowns, 6 of which were to Phil Lutz, a game in which he had 8 total touchdowns and broke the program record for most total offense in a game with 475 yards in the 65-21 win. A number that I still can't believe 2 years later, but really shows just how diverse of outcomes we could expect in this game and really how uncertain this matchup has been in previous years with 2 of the top programs in the NESCAC. Speaking of the NESCAC, Noah, now's my favorite part of the pregame show where I get to ask you to make your predictions, and then when they inevitably go wrong, make fun of them at halftime. So we'll start with the game with the lowest stakes this weekend, the Bates-Hamilton game. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, well, Bates-Hamilton, we have a team that has very few wins, and we have a team with no wins. And sometimes those provide, the best games out of any of them, really. I mean, sometimes that's the most action, most exciting. Bates, they come in with 2 very impressive wins, although those are their only wins. They've taken down this Middlebury team as well as the 7-1 Wesleyan Cardinals, and they boast the best rushing offense in the NESCAC with over 175 yards a game. The problem is they're passing for under 100 yards a game. That's been a problem for them. But on the other end, we have the Hamilton Continentals. They're 0-8. They've only scored more than 13 points once all season, and they've been held under 10 in 5 games. And I didn't even think there could be more, but there is. They got shut out in their last one, 35-0 at Middlebury. This is a matchup between the NESCAC's 2 worst passing offenses, but Hamilton also doesn't have much going in the rushing offense. I have Bates 21-17 in this one.
All right, let's go north. I mean, it's cold here, but it's even colder up in Waterville, where Bowdoin and Colby are playing for the title of the main schools. Each of them has a win over Bates, so the winner will take home the main school trophy. What are your thoughts on that one up in Waterville?
Yeah, well, my first thought is I certainly don't want to be there. The wind here is bad enough. But besides that, I think we're looking at a Colby team that has 3 wins on the season. They also have a really close loss to Wesleyan I looked at. They went to OT to Wesleyan. But when you look at a lot of their stats, they've been pretty bang average in the NESCAC, 5, 6, 7 range in a lot of the main statistical categories. They do boast the second best rush defense in the NESCAC. And you look at Bowdoin, who we saw here in the first week, and now at the end of the season, they're coming off a win versus Bates, and they have won the last 2 matchups versus Colby so far. They do have the worst rush defense in the NESCAC and the 8th ranked pass defense in the NESCAC. But I think that they could still pull out a win here. They have a very dynamic offense that's been helping them all season. I have Bowdoin 24-21 in that one. I could see it going either way for sure.
All right, let's look at the biggest rivalry game of the week. It's the one out in Western Mass, the 2 schools that absolutely hate each other, Amherst and Williams from Williamstown.
Yeah, I mean, that one's going to be definitely an interesting one to watch for sure. Amherst on a 6-game losing streak. They started this campaign out 2-0, Riley. but so far their offense has been stagnant. They only have 273 rushing yards on the season. I had to double check that. I didn't think that was even possible. It is dead last in the NESCAC there. Dead last with 1,673 total yards of offense. It's been rough for them. Williams, 4-4 so far on the season. They had a close loss as well to Middlebury in OT. They've won 3 out of the last 4 of this matchup, this heated rivalry matchup, and they boast the second best rushing offense in the NESCAC. I mean, I definitely could see this one going the other way when it's such a heated rivalry. Obviously, anything can happen, but I do think Williams does outrank Amherst in a lot of categories. I have them 24-14 in this one.
All right, now let's look at where anyone who's not here watching us on JumboCast will have their eyes in the NESCAC, and that is the de facto NESCAC title game between the Wesleyan Cardinals and the Trinity Bantams. Which Connecticut school is going to raise the NESCAC trophy this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one I'm certainly going to be looking at when I'm not watching this one here, too, if that's possible. I mean, this is the one everybody's looking at. This is going to decide the title. And for Wesleyan, this could be their first ever outright NESCAC title. They have a 5-game win streak, which is the longest currently in the NESCAC. And I think really what's been helping them is their defense. Their defense has been stifling opponents. They're allowing a 26% third down conversion rate. That's good for the best in the NESCAC by a wide margin. They're only allowing 12 first downs a game and 14.5 points a game, both also best for first in the NESCAC. And I think that defense has been really good. Their offense has gone through some rough periods. You know, they've had a lot of close games, too. They went to OT with Colby. They beat Bowdoin by 3 and Williams by 1. It hasn't been smooth sailing, but they've turned out wins when they've needed them. Trinity, though, that's a team that knows about winning for sure. Champions 11 times in the NESCAC since 2000. And their offense, I mean, you want to talk about Wesleyan's defense being a stalwart. Well, Trinity's offense is every bit as well. They've had 400 yards of offense 5 times this season and have scored 30 in 5 of the past 6 weeks. A really strong figure. All of their wins have been by 10-plus points as well, and they do only have 1 loss. That was versus the Middlebury Panthers, who are right here on this field today. Their quarterback, Xander Zabrowski, best in the NESCAC with 2,200 yards, 22 touchdowns on the season, and only 2 interceptions. He's not turning the ball over a lot, and I think in this level of football, you know, if you're looking for something that's going to change the game, is how many turnovers do you have? 2 interceptions on the whole season. That is a fantastic margin. Trinity also coming in 20 wins out of the last 22 matchups versus Wesleyan. Wesleyan's last one was in 2019. I mean, the stakes have never been higher in NESCAC football, that's for sure. But I think Trinity, being a team that knows how to win, they've come in as the back-to-back NESCAC champions here. I think they're going to pull this one out 28-20 en route to a three-peat there in Hartford.
All right, so Noah's got the Bantams to three-peat. We'll end here, Noah. Michael Berlutti's final game, the greatest quarterback in program history. Do the Jumbos get it done here on Senior Day?
Yeah, I mean, bias aside, I think it'll be an interesting game, and I think that Michael Berlutti's last game, his swan song, you know, he's been here for a really long time anchoring this offense. Also plenty of other notable seniors here today on offense and defense. I think they're going to be here to put out a show on home field, and I think in a season that has been up and down, and they're playing their best football so far, you know, started off 2-2, dropped disappointing games that kind of took them out of contention for the title. They certainly still have a lot to play for here today, Riley. Play for that 7 wins, play for that winning streak, play for Coach Savetti. I think all that and more will lead Tufts offense to put up 35 points, hold Middlebury to 21. That's what I've got. Tufts 35, Middlebury 21, a Jumbo's victory to close out the season here in the Ellis Oval.
That definitely feels like a realistic possibility. We're going to step aside momentarily. When we come back, you'll be back in the booth for Senior Day up there with Jared Cohen and Henry Burns, so don't go anywhere.
Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Riley, and the Jumbo Zone. Welcome to the Ellis Oval for this JumboCast presentation of Tufts football. Today, the 6-2 Tufts University Jumbos take on the 6-2 Middlebury College Panthers in this season finale fight for the title of NESCAC runner-up. My name is Jared Cohen, and I'm joined by my good friend Henry Burns on color commentary in what will be our last game on the mic together for Tufts football. It is a bittersweet moment, and we're hoping for a competitive game today to cap off what has been truly a great season. Today is Senior Day, and we will be celebrating this group of Tufts seniors that has led this program to more success than maybe any group in this team's history. So, Henry, thank you for being here with me. What have these seniors in particular accomplished over the last several years?
Yeah, Jared, really happy to be here one last time with you today. But if we take a look at these seniors over the last 4 years, this is the second highest winning total by any senior class in program history, right behind the class of 2018. But, coming from early in the 2010s, they had 3 straight winless seasons under Savetti. And, this senior class really just elevated the program. Berluti took over as a freshman, put the program straight into contention. Unfortunately, they never got a ring to cap it off. But in the last 3 years, they have been competitive in every single one of them, coming down to the wire, where so much so that we're just disappointed almost when they don't get a ring.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in total agreement with you. It has really been a new era of Tufts football. And sure, football as a whole has changed, but the offense we've seen over the past couple years is not something that this program had seen before. The defense has been consistently competitive. We've seen guys on both sides of the ball. You look at this graphic, these 25 seniors that are graduating following today, and there are impact players up and down the board that have stuck with this program through, coming into a program that wasn't exactly the most competitive, but sticking it out and creating a winning culture that I think will last for a long time. Guys like Jameer Alves, Andre Smith has been returning kicks since he was a freshman, the Mayava triplets on the offensive line, Forelli, in the linebacking core. Jack Elliott has had a breakout year at tight end this year, but there really are just contributors up and down this list of seniors that I think will be very proud of the team that they have been a part of over the last 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not to spotlight anybody in specific, but also, Cade Moore, real stepped up on this offensive side as an offensive weapon once, Phil Lutz and Richardson left the last 2 years. And Lewis Timmons as well led the team in interceptions last year, and this year he's a real leader out there in the secondary. I think Will Duncanson as well in the linebacking core. He had a game earlier this season with 2 interceptions. He's just stepped up after, last coming into this year, we had a lot of post-grads that left, and we were unsure of what was going to happen. And a lot of these seniors stepped in and filled some massive holes on both sides of the ball.
So we'll be seeing these guys for one final time here today, but this is going to be a competitive game. Both teams come into today at 6-2. Won't be an easy win for either side. So with these guys on the field, Tufts specifically, what do they need to do to get out of here with a win and maybe be the runner-up in the NESCAC?
Yeah, absolutely, Jared. I have 3 keys today for this Tufts team, and the first one today is win the shootout. On paper, this game looks to be a high-scoring affair. Both these teams averaging over 25 points a game. That's a rarity in the NESCAC. We like to see this type of scoring up here in the booth. It's fun for both of us. But this is a battle between the number 3 and number 4 scoring offenses in the conference. And I think a point of weakness today that Tufts could look to exploit is this Middlebury red zone defense. Tufts is scoring on 86% of red zone drives. 54% of those are resulting in touchdowns. And this Middlebury defense is allowing a score on almost 90% of red zone drives. They've given up 15 touchdowns there. That's something that this Tufts offense needs to capitalize on today to win. And number 2, I think it's just do not abandon the run. Shapiro's coming off, a ridiculous last 2 weeks, over 100 yards in both games. And while this, I said it looks to be a shootout, but what is important is to maintain your run. It establishing the run sets up your passing offense, draws defenders into the box, and gives your wide receivers more space on the outside. Averaging 146, rushing yards per game and 14 on the ground, that's something you don't go away from. And while Middlebury has a strong rushing defense, allowing 110 yards per game isn't anything crazy. This isn't the Vikings purple people eaters. They're not going to smother you. You take what you get on the ground and bring those defenders in the box. And third, this defensive secondary needs to step up. Middlebury is 3rd in passing offense and 2nd in passing touchdowns. Their quarterback, Brian Moran, is comfortable picking apart defenses. If Tufts is going to stick in this cover 2 defense that they like to do, these corners and safeties are going to be the key players today.
Yeah, and we looked in the pregame show 2 years ago. This Tufts offense put up 65 points on Middlebury. Berluti program record, pretty much everything. I think Phil Lutz had 6 touchdowns. Obviously a different team, but they came in here and they were ready to fire. So we'll see if that's something they can do again. Middlebury, however, just as competitive, and they're going to come in with their own strategy on how to beat a Tufts team that has been pretty hot recently. How are they going to get out of here?
Yeah, let's get into that right away. I think Middlebury needs to be methodical on their drives. This offense loves to be quick. They're efficient. They're rhythmic. But Tufts, when you give them the ball, they will drain the clock. I mentioned their rushing attack. That wastes time. Tufts is 2nd in the NESCAC in time of possession, while Middlebury is 2nd to last in the NESCAC. Well, it's not a bad thing inherently. If you are not holding the ball on offense, you're just giving the ball away to Tufts offense and letting them milk the clock away and control the game themselves. So, I mean, play your game. If your game is fast, you're going to do it. But time management is a crucial part of close games, and stopping this Tufts offense from running the ball down the field will open up opportunities for your own offense. And number two, I think get Moran comfortable early. I mentioned Brian Moran earlier. He's a great passer. This is his first year starting, and as a junior, he commands the game like a veteran. Rose to the occasion in Week 6 against Trinity, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. This is a capable signal caller who will sling the rock and is not afraid to push the ball downfield. You got to look to get him in rhythm early against a great Tufts defense. And I think number 3 is apply pressure and contain on defense. Berluti, the Tufts quarterback, is a fantastic rusher. He's 12th in the NESCAC in rushing. You know, that's no joke as a quarterback, especially. Middlebury is 3rd in the league in sacks, though, with 21 on the year, and this Tufts team has only allowed 7 sacks. So I think that's somewhere where you need to break through. You need to get penetration. Your edge rushers need to step upfield and contain. Do not allow Berluti to flow out of the pocket. That's where he does his best work. So I'd be curious to see if Middlebury designates one of their linebackers today to play more of like a QB spy. Interested to see how they handle that today.
I think that last point in particular is really one to focus on. This Tufts offensive line has held up all season long. They've got 3 triplets on the line. Right, clearly the chemistry is there. Jack Lynch, Brad Abbott on the left side. They've done their job pretty much every week this year. Obviously, Berluti gets a lot of credit for the mobility that he brings to the game. But the longer he has a clean pocket, the more chances he has to escape, the harder it is for the defense to keep up. And I think really, all of this comes back to the point that Berluti is the center of the Tufts offense, and it has been truly a historic career for him at Tufts University. I think it's fair to say that he is, without a doubt, the most accomplished quarterback that this franchise, this program, has ever seen. Coming in as a freshman, starting quarterback gets injured, taking that role early in his freshman season and never letting it go. As you can see, 8,505 passing yards, 66 passing touchdowns, 673 completions. All of those are program records. He's the first player in the history of the Tufts program to reach 10,000 total yards. And his 2022 season, not only is the single-season Tufts passing yards and TD record, it is the NESCAC single-season record for total yardage by a player. So we have seen a quarterback over the last 4 years who has succeeded in every aspect of the game: leadership, passing, running, efficiency, anything you could ask for, he has given to them. And this may be his last game wearing that number 8 for this Tufts team, and clearly it seems like everything kind of runs through him. What has it been like watching these last 4 years?
It's sort of a privilege up here in the booth to watch players like Berluti come in, because, you know, in the NESCAC, in Division III football, you don't see a lot of competent signal callers like this. And when you get one on your team, you want to keep him. And Tufts had the pleasure of having him play for 4 years, which is just something you don't see when guys only have 4 years. You know, it usually takes 2 or 3 to develop. We see today Middlebury's quarterback Brian Moran coming in first year as a junior, and yes, he has success, but Berluti was coming in as a freshman, as a sophomore, and dominating this league. It has been a real treat to watch.
Yeah, I second all of that. Hopefully, one last performance from Berluti, one last big game. Maybe he can recreate his 7-touchdown performance from 2 years ago against Middlebury. But we are very excited to see what happens. Before we get started here, we have to say a preemptive goodbye. This is our last game. Me and Henry together in the booth for Tufts football. Henry's a good friend of mine. We brought him in. He's a high school quarterback. We knew that he would have, some insight to share with us, and it has gone, I think, better than we could have imagined over the last 2 seasons. We've done 5 games together, though it feels like more. Unfortunately, not a lot of those games have been very competitive. Only one of those games went into the fourth quarter within a one-possession game, and the average margin of victory there is 11.4. It would be a lot higher if not for one blowout loss against Trinity that really got ran up towards the end. But if you look at the other games there, we have seen 25-0 games. We have seen 49-14 games. We have seen a lot of very uncompetitive football games while we've been on the mic. But we are hoping, and we believe today will not be one of those. 2 6-2 teams coming in today. And as we say, the vibes are high. This is our last time in the booth together, but we will try to make it a good one. We thank all of you viewers out there for sticking with JumboCast the last 4 years, the last couple of years since we've been here, and we hope you'll stick around long after we're gone. That's kind of the beauty of this organization, is that, no matter who the students are behind the mic, we have new classes coming in every year, just like the football team does, and we try to do our best job year in and year out. So me and Henry just want to say thank you to everyone out there. We're excited to get underway here. Middlebury versus Tufts for the NESCAC runner-up title. We're going to have the national anthem and coin toss coming in a minute, and we'll be right back for the beginning of the game. We are back here at the Ellis Oval for this Tufts University Jumbos football matchup with the Middlebury College Panthers. Getting underway in just a moment here. Middlebury won the coin toss and elected to defer, so the Tufts University Jumbos will take over with possession to start the ball game. Middlebury will receive it at the half. 15 minutes on the clock here as the kickoff teams line up on the field. Back to return for the Jumbos, Andre Smith, the senior in his last game as a Jumbo, a core member of this special teams unit since his freshman year. Granville Anderson II, also not a senior, a freshman back there to return with Smith. Smith will not get an opportunity, goes over his head out the back of the end zone, and the Jumbo offense will take over.
Yeah, smart decision, keeping it out of the hands of Andre Smith on the opening kickoff. Jared and I were watching all-time NFL highlights last night, watching a lot of opening drive kickoff returns. And
why do you kick it to him?
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's always the question, is just why. So I like the decision, get it out of bounds, and we'll see what Tufts can do here, open it up after the touchback.
And we'll see if Smith gets an opportunity on offense. He has at times been a contributor. He has 229 carries, 170 yards this year, so could see him later. It is Michael Berluti in at quarterback, with Christian Shapiro in the backfield. First play of the day is a handoff to Shapiro. Doesn't go too far.
Stout defense from Middlebury there, getting good penetration and kind of holding their blocks, or holding up the linemen and shedding real early. But I like Tufts giving the ball to Shapiro early. He's had 2 great weeks as a 100-yard rusher. You know, he's really been a motor for this team, and you don't want to go away from that when he's hot.
And that was the senior Colby Burke who got in there on the stop. He's rushing from the left side of the line, depending on what angle you're looking at. Here's Berluti again. 2nd and 10. Berluti play action, rolls out right. Got his eyes downfield. He's going to throw to the sideline over the head of his receiver, Cade Moore, and out of bounds.
Middlebury did a good job D'ing that one up. It looked like Berluti was looking for a shorter option on the out route. And, you know, with 3 receivers split out right, he had the tight end in blocking. But this is something Tufts is going to look to do, is get Berluti out of the pocket, move the pocket basically for him. You saw there was still nobody in his face, and that's what Tufts likes to do, is keep him clean.
So 2 plays, no yards to show for it. 3rd and 10, and hoping to avoid a quick 3 and out. Still Berluti and Shapiro in the backfield. Berluti steps up and throws off the hands of Jack Elliott. Might have been enough for a first down if he had caught it and ran, but no dice, and the punt team will come on.
Got a little fortunate, too, that it didn't bounce off his hands right into a Middlebury defender. Great opening possession from this Middlebury defense, though. 0 yards is what you will take against the number 3 offense in the NESCAC, and now you get your offense out on the field. This is ideal when you defer a kickoff. Your defense, is basically your offense, and now you're going to start at excellent field position.
Low snap on the punt. He'll have to take a running start to get that off, but does. That's the punter, Andrew Lay, picked up and returned by Middlebury and brought down quickly. That was Rocco Stola on the return. Didn't get too much, and the Middlebury offense will take over. So as you said, that's kind of exactly what you want to do when you defer a kick, the Bill Belichick method. Put your defense on the field, get a stop, and then get the ball again at the start of the second half. Will be on this Tufts defense, who has had ups and downs this year, but overall a strong unit to try to respond. The quarterback for Middlebury, Brian Moran, comes in today. 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,884 yards. First play is a pop pass. Outside with room to run, puts his head down, and a gain of around 6 for Mike Ahonen, a 6'2", 200-pound junior from Wellesley, Massachusetts.
Something I noticed when I was watching film on this Middlebury team is you saw this was a motion toss play, and they got it going on the first play of the drive. But in their film, a lot of their plays contain some sort of motion. It helps the quarterback figure out what the defense is doing, but also confuses the defense, makes them make adjustments right there. You got to choose, are you going to follow the receiver in motion, or are you going to pass him off? And right there, they took advantage of that for a great gain.
Empty backfield this time, no. Handoff and a first down for Carter Stockwell. From my angle, I couldn't even see the running back. Stockwell with the first down. He's their lead back in terms of yards on the ground, but they are a team that gives the ball to a lot of different guys out the backfield. So a quick first down after 2 plays for Middlebury.
Yeah, like you just said there, he's one of their guys. They kind of have a 3-headed attack here. I'm not really sure. You know, honestly, it's more of like a Detroit Lions approach. They got some guys with some good juice, too, behind Stockwell.
Quick pass right, complete, and a first down for Ethan Vashel. This Middlebury offense staying in rhythm to start off this game.
One of the keys to the game that I said was be methodical and get your quarterback going early. They're getting him going easily here with touch passes, screen passes, and the running backs are helping him out too with great rushes to get him in favorable down and distances.
They'll call Vashel just short of the first down, so 2nd and 1. Up to the line quickly. Moran hands it off, cuts outside, room to run, and a first down, an easy first down. Carter Stockwell off to a strong start.
Right side of the Middlebury line kind of dominated this Tufts right side or left side of their defensive line, and good job from the running back bouncing that outside. But so far, Tufts defense has shown minimal resistance, and Middlebury's content doing this all game.
So ball on the 31-yard line now. First down, play action. Moran backpedals, throws downfield. His man had a chance at that, Micah Honan, but incomplete. Ball kind of stayed in the air forever, but Tufts is lucky that one ends up on the ground.
I like it, though. Stretch this Tufts defense out after you've given them some inside and pretty easy reads. Now you try to get one behind them after you've thrown some screen passes and inside zone runs. Tufts is going to be on their toes here all game, it looks like, given this offensive approach. And they're wasting no time, as you can see, right back on the line each and every time, regardless of the outcome of the play.
Yeah, they're moving quickly for sure. 2nd and 10 now. Still 11 minutes, 51 seconds left. Moran going to throw. Throws over the middle, in between 3 defenders, and dropped by Jeremy Kiefer. That one got over the outstretched fingertips of Duncanson, and then just a straight drop.
Yeah, that's one you're going to want back. Tufts showed sending the house there with a cover 0 look, and they committed to it. Nobody behind, and that one could have broke for a big gain had that not been a drop.
So now 3rd and 10, suddenly a chance to at least hold Middlebury to an attempted field goal. Crowd is getting loud. Moran backpedaling and sacked on the play. Brought down for a huge loss. That might take them out of field goal range.
Looked like his receiver slipped and fell, and he had no choice but to take a sack, and that's a great defensive stand, as they probably were in field goal range. Their kicker's pretty strong. And now Tufts is going to get this ball back. Man, when things looked dire, they stepped up, and their D-line made a play.
So a lot of momentum early in that drive comes to a halting stop on 3rd and 10 with a long sack. Now 4th and 20. It is Cade Moore back to return the punt for Tufts. He has taken over those duties this year and has been one of the better punt returners in the NESCAC. This punt, a low punt hanging in the air. Moore lets it bounce and bounces out the end zone. Lucky for a touchback there. A couple inches in the other direction, they would have been pinned at the 1.
Yeah, that ball was screaming for the pylon, looking to get out the yard line, but Tufts will set up again after a touchback, and hopefully not a repeat of their first possession. You saw in that first possession was just a run for no gain and then 2 incomplete passes. I think they need to look to get some easy work. You saw Middlebury with screen passes and outside runs. Tufts could look to do the same.
So, yeah, will they have a drive starter, a play they're looking for right now to just get something going? Not a lot happened on that first Tufts drive. 1st and 10 from the 20 now. Berluti looks ready to pass and throws quickly to Cade Moore, but I think that one's dropped as well. Hits the turf, 2nd and 10.
Had him on the timing route on the out, and a rare drop from his number 1 target, Cade Moore, who is usually sure-handed. But I like that, and Middlebury was showing weakness there, and Berluti ID'd it up. Don't be afraid to go back to that passing look just because of the drop, though.
Yeah, looking for a soft spot in this defense. So far, not a lot of rhythm for this Tufts offense, but still a 0-0 game. Berluti looking to pass again, quickly. Middle, caught, and close to a first down. That's Cade Moore. He went right back to him.
Yeah, great pre-snap identification. This is a one-step drop, pitch and throw. Right to Cade Moore. He knew he was going to be open just because of the defensive back's leverage. And some more things like that. I mean, now you set yourself up in 3rd and 1, and I think you can, kind of slam it up the middle with Shapiro here and get this, whatever, 4 inches you need for the first down.
Yeah, so 3rd and 1, they bring in 2 tight ends, Elliott and Regelis, presumably looking to run on 3rd and short. Shapiro in the backfield, 2 receivers out wide. It will be a direct snap to Shapiro. He pushes forward, and I think he has enough for a first down.
There's some creativity we didn't see on the first drive. I don't think we've seen that before from this Tufts team, is a direct snap to the running back. That's putting a lot of pressure on your center to make a
inaccurate snap. Yeah.
I mean, but nonetheless, it'll move the sticks. And now you kind of have your whole playbook set up for you. You can go back on script on 1st and 10 and look to set up some quick game passing concepts that Berluti loves to throw.
1st and 10. Man in motion is Jack Elliott. Passing on 1st down, looking left. His receiver falls over. Lucky that one's incomplete. He was looking for Henry Fleckner.
I tell you what, Turf Monster seems to be out today. It's the 2nd time we see someone fall. It was out last night, too, during our flag football game. I think 4 or 5 of us had a very similar experience running some out routes.
We can attest this field is tough to keep your feet on, even when you're wearing cleats. So it happens to the best of us, and in our case, the worst of us.
Yeah.
But 2nd and 10 now, after Fleckner lost his footing. Going to be a handoff to Shapiro, running with a head of steam, but dragged down near the line of scrimmage.
This Middlebury front 4 is doing a fantastic job so far. Every single play, they've kind of stood up their offensive linemen that they've been engaged with and shed blocks and got upfield. Seeing really no success on the ground from Tufts thus far.
And this is a defensive line that has 2 all-NESCAC guys, Thomas Kennery and Dave Filius. I mean, one of them, Filius, he was 1st team all-NESCAC last year, 2-time Defensive Player of the Week within the league. Kennery, he was 2nd team all-NESCAC, 1st team last year and the year before. Those are 2 of the best defensive linemen in this entire league. Running at them is going to be tough. Obviously, this offensive line has had a lot of success. Now 3rd down, they bring the pressure. Berluti's looking deep down the field, down the right sideline. Hauled in on the sideline, but ruled incomplete. He was looking for Matt Rios, put that ball on the sideline, but couldn't get a foot in bounds, and it will be 4th down.
Tufts forced to punt for the 2nd straight possession. And Middlebury's going to get it back again with great field position. This is just really a lot of errors kind of compounding. A couple drops, one from Cade Moore. This Tufts offense is kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They can't get the rushing game going, and thus the passing game is going to struggle as well.
Punt from Lee to the sideline and out of bounds. We'll see where they mark that. Middlebury will take over with somewhat favorable field position. So 3 drives in now, 2 for Tufts, 1 for Middlebury. No points to show for it, even though both of these offense came into today towards the top of the NESCAC.
I feel like that's always the case. Whenever I'm watching NFL games, college games, high school games, whatever, when you have 2 top offenses going at each other, but they also have great defenses, it feels like the defenses win out. But and it's never as high scoring as we've seen. But 0 points on the board so far through 7 minutes.
We saw Middlebury make some progress on their first drive. This time a handoff up the middle. Gain of a couple. Play still going. It is Connor McClellan on the carry for a couple of yards. He came into today 309 yards, 6 touchdowns. So while Stockwell leads the team in rush yardage, it's McClellan who leads the team in rushing touchdowns with 6. So they're going to rotate these guys in and out. 2nd and 7 now, gain of 3 for McClellan.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Cody Weitzman either. He had a great game against Bates. Just this 3-headed attack makes it pretty tough for Tufts to stop one. Everyone's always rested.
They give it to him again. He makes a nice jump cut to his right and pushes forward. Think he might have gotten a first down there. That was created by the juke move at the beginning of the play. So we're seeing different looks from different running backs, and they're working. Those sticks are moving.
Yeah, and yet again, this Middlebury team is moving the sticks and pushing the ball downfield, via the run or the pass. On their last possession, they took the sack on 3rd and long, but it was only due to a receiver falling over. I think this Middlebury offense is deadly, and Tufts is going to need to make some adjustments to be a little more aggressive.
It's a balanced offense in that they can look really to any one of their guys in the field. They've got 3 great receivers, 3 great running backs. Handoff again here Good vision, but running backwards is McClellan. Maybe a bad decision, and he gets hammered at the end of that play. Wanted to cut it outside, but then went the wrong way.
Yeah, film room after the game is going to be the running back coach might get a little angry there. I remember, anytime you turn around and decide to run the other way of the field or run backwards, you're going to have an earful from your coach. If you don't make a play happen,
you better get a first down.
Yeah, you better make something happen. Took a loss of 5 on that play, and now they're behind the sticks.
So the outside run goes for a loss of 4, 2nd and 14. McClellan's still in the backfield. Ethan Vashel at the bottom of your screen out wide. Puts Vashel in motion, play action. He's looking his way, looks middle, throws, caught, close to a first down. Not quite enough, so it will bring up 3rd down, caught on the play by Patrick Jamin, their leading receiver.
Yeah, you saw there again, though, with the motion, it's forcing Tufts defense to shift a little bit and allowing quarterback Brian Moran to read what they do against that motion and find some soft spots on this Tufts defense. Great pickup after, the 5-yard loss. Your whole playbook's kind of open here on 3rd and 2. Analytics would probably tell you to run it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something get tricky.
And look at this formation. It is just a handoff. Pushing forward and breaking through. I don't know how he did that. Connor McClellan goes through a absolute barrage of Tufts defenders and comes out with a huge gain for a first down. Got lost in the middle of there and then emerged down past the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I love the use of the jumbo package on 3rd and 2nd, basically telling you that I think I'm better than you, I think I'm bigger than you, do something about it. And Tufts didn't do something about it right there and gave up a huge gain.
There was a moment there he just disappeared, and then the next time you looked, he was past the defense and running free. So now 1st and 10, and the running game is working. They'll give it to him again with plenty of room to run. Close to a first down. McClellan is carrying the Middlebury offense on this drive.
Yeah, feed McClellan. It seems like the game plan was in this first quarter. Tufts has no answer, and really they're going to have to look to start sending some pressure from this linebacking core. Unfortunately, the downside of that is then Moran's going to start picking you apart behind, but you need to do some patchwork to shore up this run defense right now.
Handoff again. Patient running, and they'll push down for a first down, and that will set up what is close to a 1st and goal. Might be a yard or 2 to spare right there. But definitely a concerted effort to run the ball against this Tufts defense that came into today, giving up 125 rush yards per game.
And allowing over 5 yards a carry is not going to cut it. If you're Middlebury, you're just going to keep putting it on the ground until they can hold you under 3 yards. But this has been a brutal showing from the Tufts run defense, but a great start for Middlebury.
Handoff again, this time not for too much. That's Cody Weitzman on the handoff. So now we've seen all 3 running backs get involved. They're going to keep Tufts on their toes. Offense looks to move again quickly after that gain of 0 yards, maybe 1. Second and 9, there is a first down to be picked up right near the goal line. It's Weitzman in the backfield with Moran. Another handoff to Weitzman. Quickly dragged down. Strong defensive presence on the play. It was Henry Forelli who got in there to make the tackle.
Great read by defensive back Henry Forelli, just kind of coming upfield and pursuing the running back, read the play the whole way. I'd love to see Tufts stay aggressive now on 3rd and long. I think man coverage is usually the look you see in the red zone. This Tufts red zone defense is pretty stout. Crowd is hopping here.
It's senior day, last game of the season. Fans have shown out, so 3rd and 12. Stockwell back in the backfield for Middlebury. A timeout taken by Tufts, so we will have to wait for this 3rd and 12. So far, no points on the board, but what we have seen is 3 running backs get involved, which is something we knew we would see coming into today. Stockwell, McClellan, and Weitzman. You don't see too many teams that get guys involved like this. Stockwell, the team leader in rushing yards, but McClellan, the team leader in touchdowns, and Weitzman, the team leader in yards per carry. So all 3 of these guys have made an impact, and we've seen all 3 of them already only a couple drives in.
Absolutely. McClellan thus far averaging 6.7 a clip, with Stockwell averaging 9.5 a carry. You know, this is a dynamic rushing trio. Weitzman hasn't got going yet, but he also hasn't had that many opportunities. It's tough when you can keep rotating in fresh and explosive running backs. The defense will always be on their toes.
So 3rd and 12 now from the 15-yard line. Big 3rd down for both of these teams early here today. Moran throwing left, caught, tipped up in the air and hauled back in, or incomplete. It is incomplete. Very rare you see a play like that.
Yeah, would love to see the replay on this.
Reached down, brought it up, tipped it in the air, tried to catch it again, and dropped it near the goal line. A range of emotions on that play, and it will bring up 4th down. The kicking team is on. Zach Levy, the kicker, was 2nd team All-NESCAC last year. He's 8 of 12 on the year. His long is 44 yards, so he's well within that. We'll see if he can get Middlebury on the board. Kick is up. That one, the wind took a little bit, and it is no good. Wide left on the kick, and it will remain 0-0.
Looked like they were disagreeing with the official's call down there. I've never seen that happen before. Just as I was going to say, looking to extend his Middlebury record of 21 made field goals. That's a program high. It looked like it went wide left. I'm not sure what the refs are discussing here on the field, though.
It definitely moved to the left during the kick. The wind was blowing. You can see the flag is blowing out towards the left side of the field. They called it no good. I think it'll stay that way. So he will be 8 of 13 on the season now. Again, All-NESCAC 2nd team last year. He is one of the better kickers in the league. But this game is now 0-0 and kind of an odd start for both teams as the Jumbos take back over on the 20-yard line. Berluti hands off to Shapiro, puts his head down, but again, not too much going on for this Tufts rushing game early today.
Yeah, like you said, it's 0-0, 2 minutes left on the clock, but Tufts is right back where they got the ball on the first drive of this game, and now you can go right back to the script that you want to do.
And if you're Tufts, Middlebury has gotten the ball twice, moved the ball past midfield twice, and has no points to show for it. You've gotten the ball twice, now a 3rd time, haven't moved the ball at all. You're happy that this game is 0-0. The question is, can you get something done right now? Berluti motions out wide. We'll see some trickery from this Tufts offense. Ball is snapped, and a keeper bouncing outside, and a gain of not all too much for Justin Keller, the sophomore quarterback. So they bring in a 2-quarterback set, motion Berluti out, and then a little keeper out left. Not too much happening there, but at least a little bit of creativity from Coach Savetti and this Tufts offense.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe getting a sneak preview at who's going to be under center next year for the Jumbos after Berluti leaves. But interesting way to get him some reps, but, I like it nonetheless. Shapiro hasn't really been effective on these inside runs so far, so switch things up and get an okay gain.
Got 3 yards right there. 3rd and 4. Keller's out of the game. Berluti in, still at quarterback. Motions left, looks right, and caught near the 1st down marker. That should be enough. And that seems to be what they're looking for early today, those quick passes. This time it was Matt Greco on the catch.
Great job from Berluti, seeing where the soft spot was in the Middlebury zone defense, and really just driving that ball forward and putting it right into Greco's hands. Knowing where the sticks are, too, from Greco is key there. And now Tufts is set up with a nice reset of the sticks.
And you can see on the bottom of your screen, number 14, Teddy Daniel. He's matched up on Cade Moore. Daniel, 2nd team All-NESCAC last year. He's one of the better cornerbacks in the league. 1st down here is a handoff and pushed back. We'll see what forward progress gave him, but they pushed Christian Shapiro all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, 5 white jerseys all over Shapiro in the backfield. It has been tough sledding for this Tufts offensive rushing attack so far. honestly, the most success has come from these quick game concepts from Berluti. I don't know why they don't keep pounding them. Middlebury was keen to kind of do what worked for them with their running backs. I think Tufts needs to do a little bit of the same here on this drive and keep these like in routes, hitches, out quick balls that Berluti can ID pre-snap.
They seem committed to getting the run game going. Game clock is like a fraction of a second ahead of the play clock right now, and Berluti will call a timeout. I think it was unclear whether if they got the playoff, it would be a delay of game. If they didn't get the playoff, whether the quarter would end or it would be a delay of game. Berluti calls a timeout. They're going to call it the end of the quarter. I think no timeout. I understand the confusion there. That play clock and game clock were like a fraction of a second apart. So the quarter is over. End of the first quarter here at the Ellis Oval. 0-0 is the score. And as we kind of mentioned a couple seconds ago, Middlebury made some progress on offense on both of their drives, but a big sack ended one of them, and a missed field goal ended the second. The Jumbos, they're getting tricky on offense, but haven't had too much to show for it. They will take back over with a long way to go. Ball on the 32-yard line when we return at the start of the second quarter. Start of the second quarter, 15 minutes on the clock here at Tufts University. Second and 11 after a run got stuffed. Christian Shapiro couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Berluti will be passing on second down. Pressure comes quickly. He tosses it out to Shapiro. Shapiro makes a move, cuts right, works his back towards the sideline, and dives forward for a first down.
Yeah, there's a lot of what we're akin to seeing from Shapiro is that tough running. Use a stiff arm to kind of throw a defender to the side. It hasn't been working for him in the inside zone run concepts, but get it to him underneath and give him some space to get ahead of steam and run down a defender.
Shapiro has been one of the breakout players of this season for this Tufts team, a sophomore. You'll look for him to have a big role again next year. 8 touchdowns coming in today. Gets another handoff right here. Looks to cut back up the middle, and a strong, tough run, gain of around 6.
Yeah, best run we've seen from him all day. Back-to-back plays from Shapiro. You know, willing this Tufts offense to have a successful drive, and that's sometimes what you need. You just need one guy to step up and catapult your offense, and that's what Shapiro just did right there.
And there was definitely some skepticism coming into the year. He was kind of unproven and a couple slow games to begin, but the last couple of weeks he's been on fire, and 8 touchdowns, over 600 yards has been someone they really go to time and time again. Right now, it'll be Berluti by himself in the backfield, 2nd and 5. And it's a designed quarterback draw. He puts his head down, and that'll get, I think, a first down. We've seen that before. Spread out the defense. They're going to say he's just short. And now the Sticks are hesitating. The guy with the yard marker leaned, and now they'll move. So first down for the Jumbos. We've seen that play before. Spread out the defense, give Berluti a lane up the middle, and that's what his legs will do for you.
Yeah, we saw him roll out to his right side earlier. This time a design run. Getting him in space is, you know, Tufts' real ultimate game plan today. When Shapiro's not getting going, Berluti can take over on the ground.
1st and 10. Keeper for Berluti on the read option. Takes a big hit, doesn't slide, dragged forward, but a very nice gain on the ground on a first down.
A little scary when your quarterback goes out there and lowers his shoulder. But this is what I talked about in the pregame for Middlebury, was having to contain. And, you know, contain is important on those read option plays. You're reading the defensive end, and he sucks in and grabs that inside zone runner. Berluti's going to pull it every time. And, you know, so far today, all we've seen is inside zone. So I don't blame him for biting on it, but Berluti will make you pay.
The 2 tight ends exit the field. So it does look like a passing situation. Looks quickly to Shapiro, which is caught. And he's got room down the sideline and runs over a man on his way to a first down.
I mean, have a day, Christian Shapiro, so far. He's been the bright spot of this Tufts offense. Keep giving him the ball in space. I love the use of these underneath routes with the running back, screen pass, design passes to the running back. Until Middlebury shows they can stop it, there's no reason to go away from it.
the freshman Keller Rogers in the game. We always like to look at him when he enters because he's just such a deep threat, a guy with a lot of speed. Moore in as well. They've got Rogers in the backfield. He traditionally plays as a wide receiver. Berluti looking his way to the end zone. Keller Rogers, touchdown, Tufts University. The first touchdown of the game and the first touchdown of Keller Rogers' career. He runs out of the backfield and as a receiver makes a huge play, and Tufts takes the lead.
That was a very smart coaching decision right there. You put Keller Rogers in the backfield. What does that do? That puts a linebacker on Keller Rogers. He is a fast freshman wide receiver. That's a mismatch all day. Burnt him out wide. Berluti didn't look anywhere else, and he shouldn't have. Great ball, great catch, and what a score to open up the day for Tufts Jumbos.
Rogers came in today, 6 receptions, 126 yards. That's a yards per catch of 21. He's a big play threat. We've seen it time and time again. Beautiful play design. That's a mismatch coming out of the backfield. Berluti looked his way the whole time, and a touchdown. So a slow start still ends up with a lead for this Tufts offense. See it again right here. Berluti, I mean, his eyes are on the right side of the field. He just takes that rhythm step, and wide open, he beat his man. Rogers for the touchdown. Coming into today, I mean, our eyes were on both of these offenses. Two towards the top of the league, and I think there's some differentiation here that is important to look at. Middlebury barely ahead of Tufts in terms of points per game, but when you're looking at yards, you're looking at pass yards, you're looking at rush yards, and particularly sacks allowed, Tufts has had the advantage. But what do we see here, and what have we seen so far that this gives us some insight into?
Well, I think you've seen a lot of the Middlebury, their yards per game, their passing yards per game, their rushing yards per game. They've been successful on their drives. They just haven't been able to finish their drives. Up until this last drive from Tufts, we hadn't seen any of these, second in the NESCAC categories. They had been a stout, this Middlebury defense has been stout and stuffing this Tufts offense. But finally opened that up, and you see why they're second in the NESCAC in passing yards per game.
And I think looking at the sacks allowed, right, Tufts is towards the top of the league at that. Their rushing, blocking so far, the point of attack hasn't been incredible, but they have held up strong in pass protection when Berluti's had to drop back there against what is a very talented defensive line for Middlebury. So when you're trying to protect your quarterback and you're doing that, you can take that as a win. Short kick here, returnable, and brought down to a little bit past the 26-yard line for Middlebury to try to respond. As we've said, they have had success on offense so far, just haven't been able to finish their drives, which is something that Tufts has struggled with at times throughout this year. Part of the reason you see Middlebury just slightly ahead of Tufts in points per game, despite ranking behind them in some of the yardage measures. So now, ball on the 32. That can't be right. Ball on the 27, and Middlebury will take over.
I mean, we haven't seen really any deficiencies from this Middlebury offense so far outside of when they are in the red zone. They've gotten in their own way. But they should stick to this same game plan of running the ball with these great trio of running backs.
Which is how they start off the drive, and they are getting good chunks of yardage on the ground almost every time they try. It was Weitzman on the carry, so they continue to rotate running backs in and out and have gotten chunks of yardage from all of them.
Seems to be a little bit.
Let me Caleb Smith now in the game. So a fourth running back gets involved. The sophomore from Newtown, Connecticut, is in the backfield, Caleb Smith.
Yeah, this is quite a deep running back room that the Panthers have here on their team.
Passing on second and short, looking down the right side of the field, but over the head of Ethan Vashel.
Wide receiver just got kind of turned around there, throwing up his hands, not really knowing what he's doing. But, I like seeing Moran stretch the field and really, when you're going to run the ball like this with four running backs, Tufts is going to start loading guys in the box, and that's going to open up your quarterback to take deeper shots and stretch the field. They have a very competent and star-studded wide receiver room. This is something that Tufts cannot shy away from.
So third and short, looking to the sideline to figure out what they're going to do. I think a lot of options are open here. It is Caleb Smith in the backfield, third and 2. And it will be a handoff to Smith, and he's got plenty of room, breaks a tackle, and what could have been an even bigger play is saved by Dom DiCrescenzo, who got downfield in a hurry to take him down, but he broke several tackles on his way to a big gain.
Yeah, can't see it here on the replay, but that motion man that sent out actually dragged Jameer Alves and Henry Forelli with it. It looked like a miscommunication, and that's what I talk about all the time with motion. It gets the defense confused. They both ran out. There was no safety help, and lucky a shoestring tackle there kept him from a touchdown, but great run.
Needed 2, got a lot more than that. Another handoff to Caleb Smith. This one not as successful. He will maybe get back to the line.
Good recovery play from Tufts defense to finally, make your way upfield a little bit and make a stop at the line of scrimmage. Haven't seen a lot of those today against the Panthers rushing attack.
And I'm curious how this Middlebury coaching staff, led by Doug Mandigo, chooses which running back gets in on each play, who gets the ball. They're not exactly only going with the hot hand. They move people in and out regardless, trying to keep everyone fresh, I suppose, but it's the last game of the season. So Smith's still in at running back, this time 2nd and 10, passing situation, looking deep down the left side of the field, and 2 men fight for it, and the ball ends up incomplete. It was in the hands of Patrick Jamin for a moment there, but a strong breakup by Jameer Alves, and it will be 3rd down.
Scary ball to throw when that side of the field is Jameer Alves and Lewis Timmons, 2 of the best ball-hawking defensive backs in this league, and that ball was floating up there for a while. Kind of a hospital pass to your wide receiver.
Yeah, throwing him towards the middle on the left side with the 2 defenders incoming is a tough play to make. Valiant effort by Jamin, who does lead the league in lead the team in yards and touchdowns through the air. So 3rd and 10, passing situation. Moran fires right side, right to a Tufts defender and picked off. Plenty of room to run down the sideline. He's still going and brought down within the 20-yard line. An interception, and the crowd is getting going here at the Ellis Oval.
Didn't learn from his last pass and goes right back to another pretty poor read. There's not even a wide receiver in the area. Not sure if it was a miscommunication, but a great return, too, on the interception. Way to turn upfield and get fast, quick.
And who else on the interception but Ty Richardson? His 6th interception of the year leads the NESCAC. He has been a ball hawk every single game so far this season and makes another impact play right there to set up Tufts in the red zone and a chance to take a 2-possession lead.
Yeah, not going to find many interceptions easier than that one. Hit him right in the chest like he was running the out route. If he was on offense, he would have got the 1st down. But a great change of possession play. Now Tufts is set up in the red zone and can run whatever offense they please.
The 5th interception of the year for Moran, and now 1st down. Berluti keeps it, looks to run, tries to get the edge. He'll get a couple. Might have been a little RPO type play. Had the opportunity to pass. He ran it instead.
Honestly, a good job by Berluti, sort of faking that he was still looking downfield to pass. But if you saw on the right side of the field, wide receiver Matt Rios was engaged in a block, not looking at any type of route. You knew it was going to be a run pass from a run from up here. But good job selling that to take a couple yards on that gain.
They're going to say gain of 4, so 2nd and 6. Berluti did a good job at getting a gain right there. Ball on the 13-yard line. Man in motion, Cade Moore. Berluti, play action, throws left. Caught by Jack Elliott. Elliott leans forward. It'll be close to a 1st down, probably a yard short.
Interesting choice from Middlebury here, playing a little zone defense. Looks like cover 2 in the red zone. Can be a little scary to allow those underneath routes in the red zone when you don't have that many yards to give up. I generally prefer a more aggressive man approach, but we'll see how this works out for him here on 3rd and short now.
3rd and 2. Ned Regelis, the tight end in the game, he primarily serves as a blocker. Shapiro in the backfield, Fleckner out wide to the right, Cade Moore in the slot. 3rd and 2 here in the 2nd quarter. Wind is still going. Berluti, hands off, tripped up immediately was Shapiro. Middlebury says he's short, and on comes the field goal unit. He was short indeed.
That was a big boy hit right there up the middle from the defensive lineman. Ran into a brick wall, literally. And I think he lost a yard on that play, honestly. Get to see Von Seelig here early.
So no thought of going for it. They'll take the 2-possession lead if they can get it. We saw a missed field goal earlier, but that was a little bit deeper of a kick. Here's Von Seelig. Kick is up. Low kick is good. So Von Seelig, now his 14th field goal of the season. He leads the NESCAC in made field goals. With that kick, he is now 12 of 14 from within the 40-yard line. Been very consistent on makeable kicks so far this year, and he will extend the Tufts lead from 7-0 to 10-0.
Tufts got points on that drive, but that's a win for Middlebury.
And with that field goal, Von Seelig also ties the NESCAC record for makes in a season. One more today, and he will break the record and hold it all for himself. It has been a very, very successful year for Von Seelig. Anytime the Tufts offense stalls out, he's right there to get them on the board. So 10-0, and we may be able to see some history later today.
But, I mean, like I was saying there, off of a 60-yard interception return where Tufts offense starts in the red zone, that's a win to settle for a field goal for this Middlebury defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Started on the 17-yard line on the interception, so you'll probably take the 3 and hope to get back on the board. Again, all 3 drives now Middlebury has gotten down the field and just been unable to finish off. That's a very short kick and caught a fair catch by McClellan. Don't think he was expecting to be the guy returning that kick.
Kind of an interesting approach, taking a pooch kick on the kickoff. We saw it on the last kickoff, but it went a little bit further. I don't know if that got held up in the wind or what, but honestly, Middlebury will now start at a worse position than they did on the time that the pooch kick was deeper, so maybe that was the play all along.
It's an interesting strategy. I mean, you put it in a position, he can't really return it. He's so far up the field with no blockers ahead of him, so they call a fair catch and goes to the 25 regardless. Middlebury just looking to string some plays together yet again, handoff, and like we've seen before, another very solid gain on first down, getting chippy at the end of the play right there. But the rushing offense for Middlebury has been quite consistent so far today.
Great burst right off the line of scrimmage. Very decisive, puts his head down and fills through the hole. That's what we've seen all day from these Middlebury quad running backs, I guess. I was going to say trio, but now we've seen a fourth party be introduced.
That was Stockwell, who's now back in the game. He got the carry on first down. He'll remain in on second, and he'll get the ball again. Try to cut back right, and dragged down. He had an idea there to cut it outside, but couldn't quite get there.
Middlebury sideline looked a little bit upset that there maybe wasn't a flag on that play. Looked like a little bit of an uncomfortable tackle. Oh, there might be a flag.
Yeah, flag comes in. I think it will be a face mask. Definitely an awkward tackle at the end of that play. And it is. So a first down and a costly penalty for the Jumbos. And every single time Middlebury has gotten the ball, they've had no trouble moving it quickly. The question is, can they keep it going?
Yeah, when you're going to commit a face mask, the worst place to do it is right in front of the opposing team's sideline because they're going to let the ref know that happened right there. But
well, I would say the worst place to do it is right in front of the refs. But that Vikings game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, these days you never even know. I think really it's right in front of a team that'll point it out. Obviously, if it's in front of your home sideline, they're not going to say anything. They're going to be pretty silent and react normally.
So that brings up a first down. Ball now on the 49-yard line. Stack 3 receivers to the left of Moran. He'll hand it off, and a pancake block opened up a lane, but a trip up brought McClellan down. It could have been a lot bigger of a gain.
Yeah, it was Max Noonally in on that tackle for the Jumbos. A couple shoestring tackles we've seen so far that have saved some really what could have been long runs for this Middlebury rushing attack.
Huge push from the offensive line right there on the left side. Just generated a big hole. Chris Fink, the offensive lineman, he was all NESCAC second team last year, just absolutely pancaked somebody to open up a lane, but only a gain of 2. Could have been a lot more. Now a quick throw to the right. Cuts upfield, jumps backwards, and down a little past the 45-yard line. McClellan that time.
A nasty little jump cut from him on the sideline. Just really, whoop, see you later. Cut back upfield. But great pickup on second down, setting up an easy 3rd and short. We really haven't seen Moran have to throw the ball downfield or hasn't thrown the ball downfield successfully thus far. A lot of short passes to his wide receivers and running backs. He is a very capable passer. I'm not sure. They kind of have him, I don't know, interested to see where they let him get loose here.
So we saw this formation already on and it gained a lot of yards on a 3rd and short. They hand it off again this time, and it's going to do the same thing. McClellan down the sideline, and a huge gain, first down. So twice now on 3rd and short, they've gone to that formation. They've given the ball to McClellan, and he's given them a big gain.
Yeah, not sure if that formation is something that Tufts hasn't seen or something, but the way that they're stacking up against is the outside has been open both times, and the running back has bounced it out there both times and had a huge run.
It looked a little bit like when the defensive end overcommits on a pass play and gives the running back opportunity to move forward. That's what happened right there. McClellan now jump cutting and dragged down by DiCrescenzo and a gang of Tufts tacklers. So Tufts responds with a stop, but near the red zone still is this Middlebury offense.
I mean, all three of these Middlebury running backs are averaging over 7 yards a carry, and we're pretty deep into the second quarter. That is not a recipe for success for this Tufts defense, and this Middlebury team is content just running the ball right down your throat if you're going to let him.
2nd and 8, so ball in the 19. They're in the red zone. Tufts looking to play some man-to-man coverage. Won't matter. It's a handoff. Pushing forward. And there just has not been a lot of pressure from this Tufts defensive line when Middlebury wants to run the rock.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I got to say it again. With the motion play, again, Tufts safeties were confused on what to do. Both of them committed to that man in motion, and it allowed more space up the middle. You're removing players from the box that can stop that run play up the middle. Tufts needs to communicate. I saw after the play at least that, those two safeties were then talking to each other about what they're going to do next time. But this has been 3 or 4 times we've seen that happen, and it hasn't been fixed. It's getting exploited.
There's been a lot of room, especially on early downs. Now 3rd and 3. Play action. He's looking right. Throws back towards the end zone. A wobbler, and intercepted again. Intercepted in the back of the end zone. What do the refs say? Yes, sir. That's a turnover. Lewis Timmons, in what might be his final game as a jumbo, makes a play, and another turnover. This Middlebury offense just can't get it done.
I was saying, why don't they let him throw the ball? Why don't they let him throw the ball? Well, interceptions on 2 passes that are, beyond the line of scrimmage. Here you can see it one more time. Fake the run pass option. He had his tight end in the flat, but chose the more aggressive route. But throwing it up in a tight coverage and just really overthrew him.
And that's a nice catch. The first foot was inbounds, but maybe before he caught it, the second foot might have been on the line.
Yeah.
Good for the Jumbos. There's no replay. So they're going to count that an interception for Lewis Timmons. And the Jumbo offense takes over at the 20-yard line. 2 turnovers for this Jumbo defense. Handoff quickly, Berluti took that.
This is the second time we've seen a package come in here with the sophomore quarterback. I like this. This is interesting. Berluti's final game as a Jumbo. Get him involved more as a running back. I guess, safe to say there's not as much to lose, I guess. This is the last game you're going to play. But direct snap to the sophomore quarterback and an option play with your other quarterback who is a rushing threat.
That's an interesting one. And interesting to see Keller on the field, maybe see if they keep going back to that package and then set up a pass. He could be a guy who comes in next year and throws the ball, obviously. 2nd and 4 now. Keller off the field. Berluti looking to pass. Throws left. Caught and pushing for close to a first down is Shapiro. The left side of the line got absolutely blown up on that play. I mean, good on Berluti for getting that out.
I don't know if you were going to say it, but I was going to say there was a bull rush on the left side of that. Tufts left tackle. Brad Abbott kind of...
He hit the ground.
Yeah, caught the bad end of that one. But a good job getting the ball out right over the defensive end.
And it's a first down. So Berluti makes a smart decision to get that out quickly. We'll have a timeout right here. Jumbo coaches are fired up on the sideline right now. They like what they've seen so far. So with that timeout, we will take just a quick break and we'll be right back. Sorry, that's not a timeout. I haven't been looking at the clock. 2-minute warning. This game has been moving so quickly. We're at the 2-minute warning here in the first half, so we will be right back in just a moment. Now, 1st and 10 as we return from the 2-minute warning. 10-0 is the score as Berluti hands the ball off to Shapiro on 1st down, who bursts forward for a gain of around 4.
Not time to get going yet, but with 1:50 on the clock, starting off with the rushing play, the clock is going to roll. I would be shocked if we see Shapiro get another handoff like that.
We've seen Tufts have a lot of success in these situations, moving the ball quickly, and we've seen them kind of play conservatively and stall out. So we'll see which Tufts offense shows up here today. That one's going to be play action, quickly thrown to Cade Moore. He gets out of bounds, maybe a couple yards short of a 1st down.
Second time we've seen Cade Moore today on the pass. I'd like to see him get more involved here as we finish this drive out and go into the second half. I'm sure that'll be a little bit of an adjustment. He's been the go-to guy for Berluti for the last, I mean, he wasn't the go-to guy last year, but has been involved for the last 2 years.
C.J. Burton and Matt Rios to Berluti's left. Fleckner and Cade Moore to Berluti's right. No tight ends in the game. 3rd and 1. Going to be a keeper for Berluti. He fakes the pass but gets held up short of the 1st down, dragged backwards. They look to get your flag comes flying in towards the end of the play. It was number 36 on the tackle for Middlebury. Michael Voda got in there. Now we'll see what the call is. He was short.
I think it's going to be unnecessary roughness on this Tufts offensive team. They don't like seeing their quarterback get hit like that. But that's a problem when you have your quarterback out there going head first for a 1st down. The defense is hitting him like he's a running back.
Yeah.
I tell you what, your eyes widen when you're on this defensive linebacking core, and you see the quarterback putting his head down like that. You want to hit him hard.
And that, yeah, he faked the pass, but it was clear that ball wasn't going anywhere, and they dragged him back. Minute 15 left on the clock. Just waiting for the referee's official call. Still unsure. We think it's against the offense.
Curious if what they're deciding here is if he got the 1st down or not before the penalty came in. I mean, it looked way short.
Yeah, he looked short to me on the original play. Taking a long time to decipher, but the punt team hasn't come on. The defense is still on the field. The offense is still on the field. Coach is still talking to the ref.
Yeah, what is going on?
Here we go. So they didn't get the 1st down. Unnecessary reference at the end of the play. 15-yard penalty. 4th and long. Middlebury declines the runoff. They want as much time left on the clock as possible. So the Tufts punt team will come on with 1:15 left, and Middlebury will look to stage one final drive.
This is a rare thing we see from Tufts. They're the least penalized team in the NESCAC. They usually have their head screwed on. Right here, that's a bad choice from Cade Moore. Having a personal foul here, it sets them back not only 15 yards, but they're going to punt the ball. That's 15 extra yards this Middlebury team is going to start from. And with 1:15 left on the clock, with a couple timeouts, you can make some stuff happen and at least get a field goal. You have a great kicker who has a career long of 44 yards. Door is pretty open after that penalty. A great stand from Middlebury's defense as well on those 3 downs, and especially on that 3rd and short.
So the punt unit is getting ready to come on the field. So far today, Middlebury, most of their yards have come on the ground, 109 rushing yards, only 34 passing yards. So we've seen them take shots down the field, but they haven't had a lot of success connecting on those shots. Now you have 1:15. As well as you've been running the ball, you got to get something going through the air.
Yeah, I mean, for Moran, he's had 4 interceptions all season. He's already got 2 in the first half. It's just an interesting and rare start from him, seeing a little bit of the youth and the first-year starter in him coming out today. You want to see him get that back on this drive here.
Flag up immediately on the punt. 2 returners back, ball bounces, returned. That's a risky play. Lucky that the ball didn't get jarred loose right there. Again, it was Rocco Stola returning the punt. He took this one on the bounce with a defender in his face and just got lit up immediately. It was Riley Yaker, the sophomore linebacker, who got on the tackle. We'll see what the flag is. That came in as soon as the ball was snapped.
I think that flag's got to be on the offense. Unless the defense was lined up in the neutral zone, it's going to be a legal formation or false start.
False start on the offense. It will be added on at the end of the return. Usually you blow the play dead on a false start, but they ran it anyways.
Well, I think usually as well you get the option
to replay the down.
And if I'm Middlebury, I would take that option. Illegal formation was the call.
Illegal
5 in the
formation.
backfield.
Yeah, they threw that flag as soon as the ball was snapped, so illegal formation. Now 1st and 10. That play ran 8 seconds off the clock, so minute and 7 seconds left. Ball on the 35-yard line. Middlebury, who get the ball at the start of the second half, would really love any opportunity to get points on the board here. Could change the outlook of this game.
We really just haven't seen a lot of involvement from any of Middlebury's wide receiver core, although I think now here's what's going to happen is what I was talking about. If you're Middlebury, why wouldn't you just take a re-kick? It looks like they're walking their punt team back on the field.
Yeah, good read from Henry Burns. They're going to re-kick the ball. Makes sense they want to take that penalty on the other end of the punt rather than where they receive it, especially with how that
that was a terrible
ended
return.
up.
You don't need to suffer from it and just add on 5 yards. You'd rather get the chance, make them punt again.
So we'll do it again.
Certainly been a slow last minute here with some officiating decisions bogging the time down after such a quick first half. But regardless, Middlebury's going to get a shot here with what's probably going to be a minute and 15 on the clock after they reset some time back after the penalty.
So we're going to have a re-kick of the punt. This play now has gone on for like 10 minutes. Crowd is growing restless. Now 4th and 21 from the 19, and this is just taking forever.
I'm not sure what the holdup is from the officiating crew.
I mean, I have not seen anything like this all season.
I'm not sure.
The crowd is unhappy. Now the punter's backed up into the end zone. This seems to be the right spot now. I don't know why they didn't have that before.
It seems to be a little far.
Yeah, the ball's now on like the 14-yard line, not the 19-yard line. We're not sure what's going on. Punter gets it up anyways. Short punt, bounces in front of the 50, picked up by Stola. He'll jump forward past the 50-yard line. So the right decision from Middlebury to retake the kick.
End of your field goal kicker's range.
But I think the clock is wrong because it was 1:15 at the start of the first play and then 1:07 after the first punt. And now it's at 56 seconds. I don't think that punt took 15 seconds.
Yeah, Middlebury should get some time back on the clock after a penalty, but
regardless, they'll now take over at the 47.
Yep.
There is an injury on the field, so we will be right back. One last chance for Middlebury to get a score in before the end of the half. All right, we're back. 56 seconds left here in the first half. Tufts University versus Middlebury College. Middlebury desperately wants to get on the board here before the end of the first half as they do receive the ball to start the second, and they have a chance to double dip. Throwing on first down, Moran's going to look to run, steps up, and slides. Hit anyways. No flag comes in at the moment. They're going to run back up to the line and try to get another playoff without taking a timeout.
Refs letting the boys play a little bit there. That was a questionable late decision. Usually when the quarterback slides, you like to give him a little bit of room and get off him, but alas, here we go again.
Moran throwing again, looking down the left side of the field. Separation, but broken up by Lewis Timmons, who's been everywhere today. He recorded his 4th interception of the season earlier, and that one, the man had a step on him, but he caught up and batted it. Could have been a little bit of a better ball.
We really haven't seen a lot of involvement from any of the 4 key wide receivers on this Middlebury team. That was Jeremy Kiefer, the intended target on the play. Doinked off his helmet after the deflection from Lewis Timmons. Back again with another pass, though.
Moran quickly down to the left side and out of bounds. Patrick Jamin on the catch. Chains move.
Look for a lot of these kind of sideline completions from this Middlebury team. If you're Tufts, you're going to basically playing a sideline defense where your corners are split out a little wider, forcing things back in the middle of the field, make Middlebury use their timeouts, don't let them get out of bounds. But it looks like Tufts is going to man them up here in a cover 1.
Moran play action. Pressure forces him out right. He throws that one late and out of bounds. Risky. Could have taken a sack, but he gets it away. They'll get another chance on 2nd and 10, and they do still have one timeout left and 17 seconds left on the clock. So that's why you're seeing them run up to the line. They don't have, all 3 of their timeouts to play this as they might otherwise, and they're not quite, I'd say, in field goal range based on what we saw earlier.
I like that decision from Tufts, though. They got aggressive there. They sent guys at the quarterback. Oftentimes, coaches will elect to sort of sit back and let them come dink and dunk down the field. I like when you send the house at them. You force them to make errant throws, bad completions. Don't let them get the easy out route completions for 5 yards. Those add up.
So 17 seconds now. Moran patiently throws middle and just dropped again by Jeremy Kiefer. That's his 2nd drop of the game. I mean, that hit him right in the hands.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on from Kiefer so far. Hopefully that can get worked on at halftime because Moran's going to stop looking his way in a second here. That's 2 key drops on basically the same route, on that in-breaking route. If you're Middlebury, you need those to be completed to continue this drive. You're not really in field goal range. You need and now it's 3rd and 10. You need a decent-sized completion here to at least threaten to get points on the board.
And I guess the idea there, he was going for the middle of the field, catch it, call a timeout, and kick the field goal. I don't think he really would have had time to spike the ball. Now 14 seconds left. They do have that one timeout. So middle of the field is open. Moran steps up in the pocket, throws to the left side, caught by Jeremy Kiefer, so he makes a little bit of a redemption act right there. And now 10 seconds. Question is, was that a first down? If not, it is not a first down, so they're going to bring out the kicking team. If it had been a first, he was out of bounds, they would have had enough time for another shot down the field before kicking it. But because he didn't quite get there, on comes the field goal unit. Zach Levy missed his first field goal of the day and will now have a chance to get Middlebury on the board before the end of the half. Kick is up, and that's going to be way, way, way short. A little bit of a shake job from Zach Levy. And no points yet again from Middlebury, who have gotten past midfield on each and every one of their drives so far today and have failed to turn that into any points.
Yeah, this is a coaching nightmare. You're setting your offense. Your offense is giving you opportunities to score, and now you have 2 missed kicks, which obviously you don't want to be settling for field goals anyways in a close game. Your offense really needs to punch in the end zone. But they're on a minute drive, basically. You're looking to cap it off of the field goal, and you can't get it done. That kick was nowhere near close. Levy, career field goal percentage is 64%. He's a great kicker, but alas, 0 points on the board thus far for Middlebury.
So Berluti takes a knee, and that runs out the clock at the end of the first half. Score as we head into halftime, 10-0. So despite Middlebury finding success on offense, especially on the ground, on every drive they've had, they have no points to show for it. Tufts, meanwhile, capitalized off 2 interceptions to put up 10. They'll lead 10-0 going into the half. We will have the Jumbo Zone active at halftime. Look for an interview with Sophia DeCoco. My name's Jared Cohen. I'm with Henry Burns. We'll be back at the start of the second half.
Welcome back to the Jumbo Zone. I'm Riley Daniel, and I'm joined by Jumbo softball pitcher Sophia DeCoco, who's going to talk to us about the wonderful journey they had all the way to the College World Series, as well as her recent nomination for NCAA Woman of the Year. All right, so let's start by talking about the regional and that crazy day where we ended our JumboCast 2024 season with the doubleheader against Rochester. And your performance that day, you came in the fourth inning in a 2-1 game and had to really just shut down the Rochester offense. What was going through your head when you came in there?
Yeah, it was definitely a stressful day, but we knew it could also be our last, so I think that helped us to really step it up and perform our best and come together knowing this could be like our last time together on this field as that team that year. So I think that helped us give us some extra motivation.
Did it feel different? Because obviously you had been there a year before against Moravian, had gotten halfway back but not able to get the second win. Did it feel different going into that second game last year versus it had been 2 years ago?
I think our energy was still pretty high for both days. I think we just trusted our gut more, knowing that we had been in that situation before and knowing that we could get out of it. And the previous year didn't go how we expected, but really pushing through this year, knowing what was on the line.
All right, then you guys had a fun trip up to Salisbury. Salisbury, always a national title contender on the softball scene, and they had been one of the best offenses all year, averaging more than 7 runs a game. And then you and Sky went in there and held them to a single run in 2 games with a sweep of the number 5 team in the country. Was there just something special you guys had going on that weekend?
I think we just all came together. We all came ready to play, and everyone showed up in their best way. The pitcher squad was always strong that year, so that definitely helped, just being able to support each other, talk each other through each inning, talk to each other in the bullpen. Because we pitched to the same batters, just talking about what we saw, what we're seeing from the ump, that definitely helped. We went in there with not too many expectations, just like our season may end here. Let's just have a great time. And we definitely did that. It turned out much greater than we expected, and we're so happy with how that went. It was an amazing time. Speaking
of much greater, you guys got down to the College World Series. Before I ask you about the games down there, what's that environment like, being involved with some of the best players in the country, just getting to really meet them, hear their perspectives, their experiences?
Yeah, it's so cool to play at a level that high and meet so many great teams and be able to say you played that good of competition and held your own. It's something else. It's a totally brand new thing, and we love going there. It was an amazing time with the whole team. It's really like an experience you'll carry with you for life. It's insane.
Yeah, and then the insane rhetoric. Let's talk about that Virginia Wesleyan game. The number 1 team in the country, 9 innings, held them to 2 runs the whole way, but just couldn't get it done offensively. What was it like in that game where, as someone who was just watching it, like it was just never going to end, no one was going to ever score?
Yeah. I think just knowing to keep pushing through, we made it this far, why not end it out on a high note? I think we also had to remind ourselves that we deserve to be here. I know my freshman year when we went to the World Series, we were so excited and starstruck, but I don't think we felt like we belonged there. In this past season, we definitely felt like we belonged there, and we were ready to play.
Yeah, and definitely showed you guys got the win in the second round, ended up finishing tied for 5th in the country. It had been a team that had some struggles at times, but then to come away with such a high ranking at the end of the year, what was the feeling when it was all said and done?
It's always unfortunate to not win a national championship. That would be amazing, but we were so happy with how we did. It was sad to have to go home and no longer play with that team again, but we had an amazing time, great memory.
All right, so if that wasn't impressive enough, you are now recently nominated for the NCAA Woman of the Year, and looking at your resume, it's simply astounding. You graduated summa cum laude with a degree in IR. You were a College Sports Communicators Academic All-American and a 2-time Athletic All-American. My simply put question, and this may sound insane, is there anything you can't do, Sophia?
Maybe some things I do. I was telling my teammate Bella the other day, I love new hobbies. I get a new hobby each year and I test it out and then I go with that. But it's always switching up my new hobbies, my new skills. So I like testing out a little bit of everything.
What's the new hobby this year?
Making my own clothes with a sewing machine.
How's that going?
It's going great. I actually made a Fiona dress, Princess Fiona from Shrek, for Halloween. I made it the day of that we went out, and it turned out pretty good. And I made a Lord Farquaad costume.
Who was Lord Farquaad?
Bella.
Bella was Lord Farquaad?
She made a great Lord Farquaad.
Did she have the accent down right?
Yeah. She would walk in and be like, Lord Farquaad.
That's
You're gonna love that I mentioned
That's
that.
phenomenal. All right, but I think what's even more impressive than what you've done in the classroom is your involvement in the community. You've been an EBOR member of a campus outreach group. You volunteer with some horses that have been mistreated, and you've really helped some who have been struggling working as a volunteer with the Borkin Project. And I know for our viewers at home, there are so many, especially Tufts students, who want to get involved in the community but just don't know how. So what would you give them in terms of advice of how to get involved?
Yeah, I would say definitely bring a buddy if you're nervous to go alone to an event, because I know personally when I've showed up to some volunteering events, I'm like the only one, and there seems to be a group of people that have already known each other, but everyone is so friendly. Don't be afraid to get out there and build a community. That's what a lot of these events are for, building community, helping out others. Everyone's there with good intentions, so go with an open mind.
And what would you say about this Medford-Somerville community? You've been here now for 5 years. What's your perspective on the community and where kind of Tufts fits in?
Yeah, I actually love it. So every year softball has a community day where young softball players from around Medford and Somerville come and watch our games, and we sign autographs on a t-shirt. And I recently, I guess the past 2 or 3 years, I've been teaching pitching lessons in the community, met a lot of great people from all around, and it's always heartwarming when they come with their little Tufts softball shirt and they're like, I got your autograph, and it just all comes full circle. Just being there for them and then seeing them support us at softball games, it's amazing.
All right, 2 more questions before I let you go. Enjoy this senior day here. So obviously a team that made it to the College World Series. You guys are returning a lot of seniors and super seniors, including yourself, Bella, several others. What are the expectations this year? You guys have done so much on an NCAA level, but there's that elusivity that seems to kind of remain with the NESCAC title. Is that goal number 1 for this year?
That is definitely one of our goals. I mean, obviously we want to make it back to a national stage. Definitely win a NESCAC championship. That would be amazing. And overall, just have fun with the team. You know, it's some of our last years here, so we want to make the most of it, have fun, and those memories last longer than just winning. So, great memories.
All right, that leads me perfectly actually into my final question, which is, in May, you're going to get the 2nd degree. It'll be the end of 5 years here. You've done pretty much everything in the classroom, in the community, on the softball field. But when you're looking back at it, when you're walking away, what is the message you're going to take away from your 5 years here at Tufts?
I mean, I've had a great 5 years here. It went by insanely fast. I think I'll take away with me all the great people I've met and keep those connections strong and give back to the community. And yeah, I love Tufts.
It is such a great place. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, speaking of people with their last moments, it'll be Jared Cohn and Henry Burns with their final half from Ellis Oval. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
And we are back here for the second half of this NESCAC football matchup between the Tufts University Jumbos and the Middlebury College Panthers. After a very interesting first half, the score is 10-0 as the kick is up and we are underway here in the second half. Caught at the 14 with room to get to the sideline, down past the 30-yard line on the return, and still fighting for extra yards. It was Adam Harrington, the senior defensive back, on the return. We saw Rocco Stola return earlier, but Harrington brought that one in and sets them up with pretty decent field position on the 30-yard line. Henry, 10-0, but I think a lot more goes into that score than you would think that we saw in the first half.
Absolutely. Middlebury, has more total yards than Tufts despite this deficit. They've just been shooting themselves in the foot a little bit with 2 interceptions. Their rushing game has been phenomenal. Their top 3 running backs all averaging over 7 yards a carry. The issue just lies in the passing game. Moran, 6 for 16, 2 interceptions, and only 49 yards through the air. I'm curious to see what kind of adjustments they make here at halftime, and you'll see it right here on this first drive because this is all scripted gameplay, or should be.
But it is a handoff on first down, and another pretty decent gain, that one for Carter Stockwell. First half, Stockwell had 3 attempts for 26 yards. That's 8.7 per carry. McClellan got a majority of the carries, 10 for 71, 7.1 a carry. But we do see Stockwell. He led off the first drive in the first half. He's back on the field for the first drive in the second half now as well. So 2nd and 5, 5-yard gain on first down from Stockwell. Still Brian Moran in at quarterback. Motions a receiver on his left. Quickly hands it off, bouncing back outside to the left, but unable to find any room to run is Stockwell. Stopped by Johnny Forelli.
Big swarm of blue jerseys surrounding Stockwell after that run. I'm interested to see how Tufts, makes adjustments on the defensive side. Obviously, they're getting ran all over, but they're not getting beat in the passing game. So, to me, the logical thing would be to shift more guys into the box, commit to selling out the run, and make Moran beat you through the air. And when he does, then you can adjust and pull guys back out. But until then, you stop the run at all costs.
So he's throwing on third, over the middle of the field, caught, and that will be enough for a first down. Threw it to Patrick Jamin, his leading receiver, came in today. 46 receptions, 631 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He was all NESCAC second team last year. That's his 3rd catch of the game and enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, and like one of the longest passes we've seen today from this Middlebury offense, but a good start. And like I was saying, these are usually scripted drives coming out of the half. At least this first drive, the first 5, 6, 7 plays, you should know what you'd like to do, get an idea of what you'd like to do. And so far, they should have no trouble sticking on script.
Puts the tight end in motion for another handoff. A lot of room created by that offensive line, and a gain of probably around 8 for Carter Stockwell. That line is getting a ton of push up front, led by several big fellas, including the guard Thomas Perry. He was all NESCAC first team last year, 6'3", 317, and we have some info that the NFL, they could have some eyes on him. D3, we create real talent down here, and Thomas Perry is definitely a real legitimate prospect. Big guy, a lot of push. We've watched some highlights of him just absolutely obliterating guys when he's pulling as a guard. Right there, the whole line teamed up, gain of 7. And they look pretty content, Middlebury is, to continue to push the ball on the ground early downs. Here they look to pass. Moran steps up in the pocket, throws right. Almost intercepted by Jameer Alves. Receiver is upset there wasn't a flag on the play. But I think Middlebury will be content with that just falling incomplete.
I was just about to praise Moran for the way that he stepped onto the pocket and reset himself to throw a ball again, but then he throws a ball into double coverage. Jameer Alves does a great job hawking down, really just lurking, seeing that ball going the whole way. There was nowhere else to go with it. But again, the woes continue for this Middlebury passing attack and just have never looked comfortable. Like I said in the intro to this game, is getting your quarterback comfortable, setting him up, and they just haven't really done so. They had some screen passes early and since have gone away from it. It's something I'd like to see them get back to. It seemed comfortable for him.
Throw it again, this time deep down the right sideline and incomplete, well over the head of Patrick Jamin in double coverage. So they take a shot on 3rd and 3. No dice, and the punt team will come on. Unsure of the strategy for Middlebury, but no points yet again for a drive that did make it past the midfield line.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme of all their drives, to make it past the midfield line and then stall out. I'm not sure what Moran ID'd there pre-snap. I don't fault someone for taking a shot on 3rd and short. I know logically you're like, well, you only need 3 yards, but oftentimes defenses play more aggressive. You can get over top them because they're committing to selling out. But just a miscommunication there on that ball.
Punt is up, a short punt, another shank maybe. That one out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it. Might not end up being too bad of a spot. Going to be near the 20-yard line, even though that ball didn't travel very far in the air. So Jumbos will take back over. The dream of the double dip got erased on both ends for Middlebury. Missed the field goal at the end of the first half, so no double dip. Tried to just get the ball and scored at the start of the second half. Couldn't do that either. So despite the fact that they have racked up a lot of yardage in this game, in fact, probably more total yards than the Jumbos, they have yet to show anything for it, and Berluti comes back onto the field hoping to extend this to a 3-possession game. Christian Shapiro in the backfield. He'll get the ball on first down. Not too much of a gain to be had.
Really the exact opposite of Middlebury's successes is what Tufts is struggling at. Their rushing yards, only 39 on the day on 15 attempts at the half at least. That's only 2.6 a carry. That's pretty poor. That is not what you like to see out of your rushing attack. Whereas Middlebury's at 5.5 a carry. However, this Tufts passing offense has looked pretty decent when they have chosen to go to it, although infrequently.
Yeah, they haven't been pounding the ball through the air as they have had in some games where they just get pass happy. Here they will throw. It will be a quick timing route and hauled in. He put it right on his man's hands. Brought in by Matt Greco. I mean, 2 defenders were incoming, but as soon as the head turned for Greco, the ball was there, and it'll get them set up for a bit of an easier 3rd down, but still a ways to go.
Yeah, good tackle from the DB, Teddy Daniel there, too. A bigger-sized cornerback that you're used to seeing, a bigger corner than you're used to seeing in this NESCAC league, and laid a little stick there. 3rd and medium. It has to be quick game here for Berluti, I think.
So 3rd and 6. Berluti is looking to pass. The pressure comes quickly, throws middle, hauled in by Fleckner. He pushed the ball forward and signals for a first down.
Great job by Berluti taking what he's given. Fleckner is a very speedy wide receiver, pretty quick off the line, and does well in those in-breaking routes, can really just get in front of his defensive back, and Berluti hit him in stride for a nice gain. This is what we mentioned in the first half, just as we see the replay here. Want to see Berluti having more opportunities to drop back and get comfortable. A pretty clean pocket, and he does well when he has no pressure in his face.
So now 1st and 10. Play action, throws out right, Cade Moore, and sticked down, a loss of probably 4 or 5, and the guy you just mentioned, Teddy Daniel, he comes in to make the tackle, read that one all the way.
Yeah, kind of built more like a strong safety in this league, at least. He's making hits like one out there. Second big hit we've seen from him out on the boundary. Usually corners can't tackle. That's their biggest woe. They're kind of just wide receivers that can't catch. But Daniel's making hits out there today.
Yeah, 3 interceptions on the year. He was all NESCAC last year, 6'2", 190 pounds. He might be a little bigger than that. Now 2nd and 12. Berluti throwing to Fleckner again. Diving catch will get him near a first down, and that was Daniels in coverage.
Yeah, that time Jumbo's got the best of Daniels. Fleckner's pretty fast. Sold him kind of on the go route and then put his feet down real hard and turned back for that ball. Great timing route from Berluti. And now you got a 3rd and short once again.
And while the Henry Fleckner maybe huge breakout season didn't really come to be, he has been quite a reliable target for Berluti this year, someone who hasn't had a big problem with drops. He has a passing touchdown on the year on a trick play, and he's someone that Berluti can look to in situations like that. 3rd and 1 now, going to be a direct snap again to Shapiro, pushes forward. Defenders signal that he's short. They went back to that same play we saw earlier, snapped it right to Shapiro.
I think they're going to give it to him.
Referees are conferring, and they signal for a first down. Chains will move, so twice now on a 3rd and short, they have snapped the ball directly to the running back Shapiro and moved the chains.
Not sure when they implemented that in their offense. I will say I don't usually like running the ball out of shotgun on 1 yard, 2 yard gain plays like that. It just gives more time for the defense to fill, but worked out there.
Berluti Rolling out right, throws to the sideline at the first down marker, caught by Fleckner, and out of bounds. Excuse me, not Fleckner. That's Matt Rios. Rios, his first reception of the game. He had a hot start to the year, hasn't exactly been as consistent since, but picks up the first down right there. And now the Jumbo offense is moving the ball.
But he is, a crucial part of this Tufts wide receiver trio of Rios, Caden Moore, and Fleckner that all do contribute to Berluti's passing success. And I love seeing them use these weapons starting in the second half. That was clearly an adjustment made at halftime.
Berluti passing on first down, taking his time, throw in deep down to Cade Moore, jumping catch and dragged out of bounds by the 20-yard line. His number one receiver makes a play, and a dart from Berluti sets up the Jumbos near the red zone.
Yeah, in that zone defense, you can kind of get caught in no man's land. It kind of looked like Teddy Daniels maybe did. Ball went right over his head, jumped up a little too early, and right into Cade Moore's hands, and he's not dropping that one. Great pickup. That's the longest pass we've seen today from Berluti.
And it's to his top guy, Caden Moore. So now playbook is wide open on the 22-yard line. Shapiro still in at running back. You've got your tight end in the game to block. Caden Moore on the right side of the field. Rios at the bottom of your screen. Berluti will keep it. Throw. Miscommunication maybe. Threw it pretty early. Looking for Caden Moore. He was engaged halfway down the field and incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like Teddy Daniels was looking for OPI. But, knocking on the door of the red zone here are the Jumbos here on the 22. Worth mentioning that Middlebury allows a scoring possession on 90% of opposing red zone drives. And something to look out for here as Tufts is right on the doorstep of it.
2nd and 10. Another pass. Berluti looking to Moore. Spun around and dragged down near the first down marker. A quick throw from Berluti, and that connection is heating up a little bit.
Simply just reading the outside backer there. He fled out to take Shapiro on the little out route.
Curl?
Thank you. Having a brain fog moment with the running back. But he's just on a quick little option route to the right side of the quarterback, and linebacker fled through right behind him for a great pickup.
So they go empty on 3rd and 4. Berluti back to pass. Takes his time. Middle of the field, off the hand of Matt Rios. He might have had him, would have been a hard needle to thread. But with the incompletion, the kicking unit will come on.
Berluti was patient, waiting for Rios to kind of break right behind the safety. And he did so, but just missed him hardly. It would have been a great pitch and catch for a touchdown. But Von Silk will come on here, I think, to look to break the record for the most field goals made in a NESCAC season.
That is correct. Seelick. The kick is up. It's low. And it is no good. So Seelick, with the opportunity to break the NESCAC single-season record for field goals made, misses the kick and also fails to extend this Jumbo lead. So both teams have had some special teams woes today, and now Middlebury will take back over.
Yeah, I apologize for the announcer drinks there. Maybe I should have waited till after he kicked that ball
bound to happen
to talk about that record. But Middlebury's going to be backed up a little bit here on the 20-yard line to start their drive. And once again, we'll see if they can get to midfield, which they've done on every single drive, and then stalled out. So, they're just waiting to finish off a drive with a touchdown.
And maybe look to catch Tufts off guard and throw the ball earlier. I mean, they're having success on early downs running the ball, and they'll do it again right here. Another handoff on first down will pick up a decent chunk. So they're sticking to their game plan. They show no signs of going away from that. The question is, will that game plan eventually lead to some points?
Well, I don't think Tufts has given them any reason to go away from the game plan. Tufts unable to capitalize on some of their drives, only up 10. That's a 2-possession game. If Middlebury can get any type of points here, this is a very competitive ball game. And there's no reason to fret about running the clock out and keeping the ball on the ground.
Handoff again and just turf monster right away.
Leading tackler on the day.
Feet went out from under him. And no gain on the play. I'm telling you, this turf can get you. It did right there. So that'll bring up third down, a bit of an unfortunate turn of events. Loss of 1 for Connor McClellan, who's their leading rusher on the day. Now 3rd and 5, Jumbos would love to get a stop right here. They're bringing the heat. Pressure incoming, quickly thrown over the middle, hauled in. Makes a move, cut, pass down the 45-yard line. And a first down, maybe the longest play of the day through the air for Middlebury.
Moran looked very comfortable on that, and that's what we've been looking for all day. This Middlebury offensive play calling can do him a little bit more favors and set him up with some easy slant routes like that.
And they move up to the line quickly to get a handoff off to McClellan, who fights off 3 tacklers and gets another gain of around 5. His ability to just take any run and turn it into a solid gain has been very impressive so far today, especially getting back up to the line so quickly.
I mean, this offensive line is also just giving him a great push every time. Tufts is having a real hard time penetrating and getting positive yards. It's basically moving, as when you're the D-line, to move the offensive line backwards, and they're not doing that very much today.
Yeah, not a lot of push from that defensive line, though they did have 1 big sack on a passing play in the first half. The running game, they haven't been able to do much. Looking to pass now, 2nd and 5, plenty of time, rolling out right. Hauled in, right at the sticks by Patrick Jamin. He's a big guy. And he will pick up close to a first down. Chains haven't moved. He wants it. Gain of 9. They're going to say 3rd and 1. Jamin exits the field. Now let's see how they line up on this 3rd and 1. They've been in a 3rd and 1 situation twice. They've lined up in this formation twice. They've gotten runs of over 20 yards twice. So now a 3rd opportunity, another handoff. This time, not so much, but still a first down.
Yeah, interested to see where they spot him here. It should be a first down with forward progress. But Tufts making some adjustments, being a little bit more aggressive when they see that package coming out. I don't think they have very many passing looks. You sub your number 1 wide receiver out of it. Are they going to call him short here?
From my angle, the ball is clearly in front of the yard marker, but they've signaled 4th down, and the offense is still on the field.
Well, the yard marker's at the 44-yard line, and they're at the 44.5-yard line.
So they will be 4th down. They line up again, handoff, and that push should be enough to get the first.
Yeah, bad snap there, though. Kind of delayed the handoff. A little dodgy, but that should have got it done for Middlebury here. And once again, they are over midfield with a first down opportunity. Something's
got to give.
Yeah.
Something's got to give. 2 interceptions thrown in the opponent's side of the field for Middlebury so far today. 2 missed field goals as well. So now's another opportunity on the 44-yard line. Clock going to be under 2 minutes now here in the 3rd quarter where not much has happened. Handoff to McClellan. They're happy to continue running the rock. He'll push forward. Another solid gain. I feel like I've said that a lot today, despite the fact that Middlebury has no points on the board. This quarter, they are killing a lot of clock on the ground. It's going to be the 4th quarter in a hurry.
A lot of credit to Middlebury, though. You know, they're committed to running this ball, and Tufts knows they want to run the ball, but they're showing different formations. There was trips left, forces Tufts to respect it, opens up the middle a little bit. Now you have spread again, and again another run out of this formation.
And brought down by several Tufts defenders. Again, pretty close to a first down. Maybe not quite enough. McClellan seems to have really gotten the lion's share of the carry so far today, despite the fact that they do rotate guys in and out. 3rd and 3 now.
Last time Middlebury was in this 3rd and 3 situation, they took a shot, didn't pay off. You know, they've been in this 3rd and medium distance a couple times. You know, they took a sack in the 1st quarter. This is where they've struggled to really convert today. And honestly, it might be time to keep it on the ground. I'm not sure. But 3 straight run plays on this series might not be the worst thing.
It's going to be a pass. Moran changes his mind. He's going to run. He's got the first. He dives down.
Yeah, there we go. That was a good decision. Run the ball. I like running all your wide receivers off. Obviously not a design run. I don't think Moran really has a lot of those in the playbook for him. But a good job. No one on the edge there from Tufts, and a free, 5-10 yards. You will always take that as a quarterback.
And we were talking, some of his rushing stats on the year are pretty interesting. You look at the stat sheet, and he's at 46 carries for 14 yards, which is almost unbelievable. But a lot of that is from sack yardage, negative yardage, as another run pushes the Middlebury offense forward. Most of that is from negative sack yardage. He actually does have somewhat over 100-something yards, positive rushing yards on the year. He can make plays, but you won't know that if you just look at the raw numbers.
Yeah, nowhere near the type of rushing quarterback where you need to, designate a spy or really set the contain. But, when you give him free rushing opportunities, it's a little bit like a Baker Mayfield. He's going to put his head down and run for it.
So with that, we've reached the end of the third quarter. We came out of the half 10-0. We'll exit the third quarter 10-0. But yet again, Middlebury threatening to put some points on the board. We'll see if this can be the opportunity for them to finally break through. We'll know when we get back for the start of the fourth quarter in just a moment. As the pep band goes, we're back at the start of the fourth quarter, still 10-0. Flip the field, now on the 30-yard line, 2nd and 8 for this Middlebury offense. Passing on 2nd and 8, plenty of time in the pocket, throws to the sideline, over the head of both the receiver and the defender. So 3rd and 8. Just have not seen this passing offense get on a consistent page together so far today.
A lot of tough throws they're trying to make, too. It really not making it easy on themselves. But Miranda is kind of floating the ball around today. A couple of interceptions. Well, one of them was directly to Ty Richardson. But the other one that Lewis Timmons picked off in the back of the end zone, he kind of just floated the ball too far. It got picked up a little bit. You saw the same thing on that pass right there. Just floated over the head of the wide receiver. Got to get a little more oomph on the ball when you're throwing it. Step through your throw and fire it into your target.
So 3rd and 8, they're going to hand it off. And they're going to get a first down on the handoff. Plenty of room for McClellan all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Middlebury, and they finally get on the board.
Have a day, McClellan. He is running all over this Tufts offense. Already at 91 rushing yards. That'll put him well over 100 and finally gets rewarded with the touchdown.
And I think maybe they just caught the defense off guard, expecting pass on 3rd and 8, run the ball. They've been running it well. They usually get 5 yards anyway. Add in 28 more. And you've got a touchdown for McClellan, extra point now up, and we'll see if he can get that one through. He can. So 10-7, and we finally have ourselves a ball game. Technically, we were looking at the stat earlier, games we've done entering the fourth quarter with a one-possession game. This wasn't one of them. 10 points is 2 possessions. But now a 3-point game, and we do have a ball game. Low-scoring affair, but just kind of a strange back and forth, and now the Jumbos will have a chance to respond to the first Middlebury points of the day.
Low-scoring affair indeed. Like we were saying earlier, both these teams average over 25 points a game. Seeing both of them held to under 20 right now, both at 10 or below is a little bit different from what we're used to.
But you pointed it out at the start of the game. Sometimes when you've got 2 good defenses and 2 good offenses, it's the defenses that win out. And so far that's been the case today, but again, Middlebury probably has moved the ball to the point where you think they would have more than 7 points, and Tufts has a missed field goal as well. I mean, that play only took 4 seconds off the clock here in the fourth quarter, so we got 14:56 to go. Kick will be over the head of Andre Smith, so we might not get to see an Andre Smith return today in his last game as a Jumbo. They'll take over the Jumbos, that is, at the 25-yard line. And they did look to the pass a little bit more on the last drive than maybe a little bit earlier today. Shapiro came in today coming off 2 of his best games of the season, but hasn't been able to get it going against a very, very stout Middlebury defensive line. They've looked to him through the air more so than on the ground. He is in the backfield. We haven't seen it really any of Smith or Khalid Calhoun in the backfield today, only Christian Shapiro. Going to be play action. Berluti rolling out, throws to the sideline to Cade Moore, and that's a good gain.
Yeah, easy pickings right there for Cade Moore. Nice little out-breaking route, and Berluti out to his right side, his comfortable side, throwing right on the money, right on the sideline. A great pickup. We saw Cade Moore on a longer pass on the last drive. This Tufts offense, kind of works better when they're able to push the ball downfield. The screen passes and inside runs just are not what they do best.
And it's always seemed to me Berluti throws a very catchable ball. He puts it usually in the right spot. That one was easy for Cade Moore to grab right at the yard marker, so it is a first down. Ball on the 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Hand off to Shapiro. Quickly dragged down on the play by Sean Link, the senior linebacker from Morristown, New Jersey. He got in there quickly and prevented any gain on the play for the Jumbos.
This is a must-score drive for Tufts. I mean, you're essentially playing right now that you're losing. There's not enough time left for you to run the clock out, and you're only up by 3, and this Middlebury team just came off a scoring drive. You can only expect they're going to do the same things. You need to pick up on these next couple plays here.
2nd and 9, play action. Berluti pump fake, rolls right, maybe wants to run, puts his head down and gets clobbered. 3 guys in there, and the ball came out at the end maybe. Think he was down. Really don't like to see your quarterback take hits like that. He's shaking it off, but
they gotta bring out the slip and slide in training camp and get him sliding out there. It's been all season we've seen him take, lower his shoulders and take hits. Love to see him doing that, but that's how you get hurt.
And Luke Leongas comes onto the field. Berluti took a hit late on that one, and he's not going to stay in the game, at least for this play. So that is a major turn of events for this Tufts offense. The senior quarterback, Luke Leongas, now in on 3rd and 8. We've seen him before, but really only towards the end of blowout games. Whistle blows now. Flag comes flying in. Delay a game on the offense.
Gosh, I mean, you feel for Michael Berluti, though. This is not the way that you want your final game of your season to end. Hopefully he's okay, and we'll return to the field quickly. We'll see. He's on the sideline kind of shaking it off a little bit. Yeah,
it looks like a lower body injury of some type. We'll keep you updated on that. Meanwhile, it is Leongas in at quarterback. 3rd and 13 now after the delay of game penalty. He is a senior, but he hasn't seen all too much playing time over the last couple seasons, and this is a 3rd and long in a game for the NESCAC runner-up title. Leongas rolls out right. Pressure is incoming. Throws to the sideline. Caught. C.J. Burton. And a first down. That's how you make a play coming off the bench.
That's a phenomenal play by Luke Leongas. As a backup quarterback, you sit and wait all year. Maybe for your whole career, you sit and wait. You never see action. You get in here. You roll out to your right. You're comfortable on the run, and you make a great throw on time to your receiver for a fantastic pickup right when you need it.
And you talked about having to get a score on this drive. And I think especially when you consider Middlebury is going to run the ball. They're going to kill clock. You don't even know how much time you're going to get if you do get the ball back after a Middlebury drive. This is a possession you need to score on. And Leongas picks up a crucial 3rd down conversion. Now 1st and 10, man in motion, handoff to Shapiro, and just met immediately. That's been the story of the day for the Tufts rushing attack, unable to generate really anything. The stop by Dave Filius, I mean, that guy is a monster. 5 sacks on the year. He had 7.5 last year. And first team all NESCAC. He's a guy who can make a play. Did it right there.
I will say, though, that long pass for Leongas, that's how you get into the groove as a quarterback, especially when you're not playing, you're not used to playing. Those things are what you build on. I'd look to let him throw it again. Now he's in rhythm a little bit. He's got confidence up.
Yeah, got to have faith in whoever's playing quarterback. Right now it is Leongas looking to pass. Pushed out of the pocket, fakes up, runs forward for a first down and more. He's got some legs.
Leongas is showing out right now on senior day. This is his last opportunity. Doesn't see anything he likes. Rolls out to his left. Just tucks and run. And a great job falling forward there for extra yards. But man, these Tufts quarterbacks have got to slide. It's dangerous.
I've heard some conjecture recently that actually diving might be safer than sliding in some contexts. I don't know if there's any studies on that yet, but he got down, he got the first down, and he's okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe those studies yet. We'll see. I mean, you get the added bonus though when you slide and they hit you. You get the 15-yard extra flag. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of protections built in for quarterbacks these days.
Now 1st and 10, Leongas, hands off. Shapiro, whole horde of Jumbos and Panthers, and not a lot to show for it for either team. Maybe a gain of a couple. Leongas, though, completion, a run for a first down, and now the Jumbos are threatening despite the loss of their senior quarterback, Michael Berluti.
Shapiro's been having some real difficulty finding any type of running space in the middle of the field.
But he's fighting.
Yeah, I'll give him credit there. You know, he's trying to fall forward, but not much that this Tufts offensive line has given him today.
So 2nd and 8 on the 29-yard line. Leongas play action immediately, rolls out right, throws to the end zone to Cade Moore over his head. Just over his outstretched arms. They like to get Leongas out in motion. Here he looks short, looks deep, doesn't really set his feet, and just misses him. That was an opportunity to get on the board.
And that's a difficult throw to ask your backup quarterback to come in and make. With that said, that's a great read. You know, didn't like his first progression, which looked to be the shorter out route, and just chucked it deep to his trusted target, Cade Moore, but just a little out of reach. Now you're faced with a 3rd and long, obvious passing situation here. You're just on the edge of field goal range. You need to pick up at least 5. If you're not going to get this first down, it's got to be close to the sticks.
Berluti has his helmet on the sideline, but Leongas still in the game. Going to be a handoff to Shapiro, who rushes forward for a first down. So we saw Middlebury go run on 3rd and long in the red zone and pick up a touchdown. Now we see Tufts go run on 3rd and 8, and a burst of speed from Shapiro gives them a first down.
Credit to Tufts' offensive line, too, there. They've been getting beat up all day by this Middlebury front 4, and right there they get a good push and make a huge hole for Shapiro to get through. And right when they need it, I mean, right on cue, 3rd and long, nothing like handing the ball off on 3rd and 9 and picking up a first down.
So now officially in the red zone on the 16-yard line. 1st and 10. They have a first down to pick up. Going to be a handoff to Shapiro. Breaks a tackle. And not sure how far he got there. Kind of covered up by a bunch of guys. We'll see what the spot is. Gain of 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Jumbo. So they have the opportunity to pick up a first down and then set up a 1st and goal to go.
I mean, the future is bright for this Tufts backfield. Shapiro, only a sophomore. He's really put the team on his back today offensively. They're running through him. I mean, they're getting him touches any way they can.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the faith they have. Hadn't had a strong start on the running game, but still giving him the ball, and he's making plays here on a crucial drive in the 4th quarter. They'll give it to him yet again. This time, though, forced backwards. Not sure he got enough for the first down.
Looks like he's going to be just a yard short. I would be shocked if they did anything other than giving it to him once again.
No gain on the play. Jumbo's now killing some clock. They're under 8 minutes now to go in the game. This will be 3rd and 1.
This feels like 4-down territory regardless, though. You don't get it here. You got to keep the offense out and go for it again. But if you're Tufts, you look to pick it up right here. Middlebury, Tufts doing a good job spreading them out. Middlebury pretty light in the middle. The box only got 6-7 guys in it.
So it will be a pass. Leongas looks towards the middle of the field and hauled in. Cade Moore, touchdown. Luke Leongas, the senior quarterback, comes off the bench in place of an injured Michael Berluti and leads the Jumbos on a touchdown scoring drive, one that could put them in front for good.
Man, what a feel-good story for Luke Leongas. Does a great job, 3rd down in the red zone, staying comfortable in the pocket, and keys up a great pass for an easy touchdown to put this Tufts team up what should be by 10.
I mean, just huge guts from the offensive play callers from Leongas And that's what senior day is all about. We got a senior coming in and making plays as the extra point is good. That makes Seelick, he's still perfect on the year on extra points, I believe. But now a 10-point lead for the Jumbos, and that is the drive they needed. Looked like all might be lost when Berluti got hurt early in the drive. He's yelling on the sideline. He's hyped up. Probably wants to go back in, but Leongas made it clear that he can play as well. As a senior who didn't get a lot of run during his 4 years, there can't be a better feeling than getting in there on the last game of your senior season and leading an absolutely perfect touchdown drive. And now it's on Middlebury to respond. And again, this is a team that really favors the run. You've only got 7 minutes left on the clock. You do have all 3 timeouts. You think there's any sort of change in game plan coming from Middlebury, or just more of the same given how comfortable they have been running the ball?
I think it has to be on the ground, but unfortunately when you're down 10, you need to start looking to throw the ball, and your quarterback really has not been comfortable doing so thus far. You know, maybe some shorter things to get going, wide receiver screens. We haven't seen a ton of them. They've gone away from the motion that we saw a lot earlier in the game. Just giving Tufts different looks so your quarterback can hopefully find some comfort behind there.
You're going to need, as the fair catch is called, you're going to need more than one possession, right? It's a 10-point game. You're going to need to score. You're going to need to get the ball back and score again. So time is a factor here with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left, even if Middlebury can go down and score a touchdown right now. So we will see if there is any change in strategy for this Middlebury offense. The Jumbo defense is fired up and ready to go. They want to respond to what their senior quarterback, Luke Leong, just gave them and really lift him up even more by getting a stop. We'll see if they can. Ball starting on the 25-yard line. It's going to be this Middlebury offense led by Brian Moran, and we do see Carter Stockwell in the game at running back, despite Connor McClellan's heroics on the last drive, throwing on first down. So a bit of a change. He'll step up, run, and gain a couple. We've seen him look to do that on plays that haven't looked quite right from the beginning. Clock is running, and they'll try to get a little bit of a hurry-up offense going. Stockwell still in at running back.
I think the worst thing here, if you're Tufts, would be to allow a quick touchdown, but we'll see.
Throwing deep down the right side and just well over the head of his receiver, Patrick Jamin. Jamin wanted a flag. He was fighting, hand-checking on the play. There is a flag on the play. We'll see if it's pass interference or holding or something else. There definitely was contact, though. That ball was nowhere near Jamin.
I mean, from up here, it looked a little bit like pass interference. There's just that type of distance between your receiver and the ball either signifies, one, your quarterback threw a bad ball, but here it looked like something kind of held him up a little bit because Jamin is a pretty prolific pass catcher.
So it'll be pass interference on the defense. That was Jaden Callender in coverage on Patrick Jamin. Not a spot foul, so they'll move it up. It is on Callender. And now a first down. So don't complete the pass, but get the yards anyways if you're Middlebury. And they did look to throw on this drive. Under 7 minutes now to go. Seems like they know there has to be some urgency in their offensive attack. Jamin in the slot to Moran's left, puts a receiver in motion, and is going to throw again. Quickly to Jamin. Up-cutting screen. He's met quickly. He's hammered down to the ground.
That is not the place that you want to meet Dom DiCrescenzo. If you're a wide receiver, you never want to see him in your face. But a great job from Tufts defense there, rallying to the ball and sniffing out the screen pass right away.
Tufts defenders pointed at as if they had recovered a fumble, but no sign of that from the referees. Back up to the line. 2nd and 9 now. That was a gain of 1. It was Dom DiCrescenzo part of the stop. Moran, pressure comes, throws down the right sideline, and just, again, well ahead of his intended target, Ethan Vashel. So they're taking shots, but they're not the most competitive targets for the most part, and that will bring up a 3rd and long.
They're not making it easy either. They're throwing these tight fade routes that just don't have a lot of space. Your wide receivers aren't getting a ton of separation for you. There's got to be some sort of mix-up, at least like some in-breaking, maybe a double move, something to gain a little bit of separation for your quarterback. that he can get some error margin. It's just been tough for him, for Moran so far.
3rd and 9. Moran throwing deep again, this time over the outstretched arm of Jeremy Kiefer. And they are trying these deep shots down the field, but with no luck. Some credit due to the tight coverage we've seen from these Jumbos defensive backs. That time Kiefer had a step, but the ball just wasn't accurate enough. The punt team is coming on in a 10-point game. I guess your hope would be punt, get a quick stop, get the ball back, score, get the ball back again, score again. Tough situation to be in if you're Middlebury.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is basically you think you have a better chance making Tufts go 3 and out than you have one play at 4th and 9. You know, whatever you want to weigh those analytics, you have 3 timeouts. Maybe you get a quick stop without using any timeouts and get the ball back.
Punt is up. Moore calls for a fair catch, but it bounces over his head and into the end zone. You get down that on the 1, then maybe you pay off the decision to punt, but you can't. And it'll be a touchback and an opportunity now. We'll see who comes in at quarterback and an opportunity for the Jumbos to truly put this game away. But the question will be, who is in at quarterback?
Regardless of who's in at quarterback, it's got to be a pretty run-heavy drive here. Maybe you can pass on your first series, but once you pick up a first down, and then you can salt the clock away. Only 5:54, and
it's going to be Leongas. Leongas remains in at quarterback, so Berluti probably the end of his day, and unfortunately maybe his Tufts career, but it can still be with a win. Now 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Leongas in with Shapiro in the backfield. 1st and 10. Likely a handoff, and it is. Shapiro, stiff arms, but met and tackled short of the line of scrimmage.
I know Berluti comes out with an injury, and your backup looked good on the previous drive. Leongas did, but you're still a little bit limited in your offense, regardless of how well prepped your backup is. They're never going to be as prepped as your starter. They just don't get the same game reps. So if you're Middlebury, you're not as worried about the threat of a pass or the threat of a rushing quarterback. You can sell out to this run that Tufts has been committed to doing thus far.
Berluti is now warming up on the sideline, throwing. He looks all right. We'll see if that means anything. Leongas takes the snap, high snap, hands off to Shapiro. Shapiro cuts left, gain of a couple.
Yeah, not much different than what you expected. And here comes Berluti subbing in for Leongas on what looks to be a passing down. I mean, it's a right ankle injury for Berluti. Maybe he can stand. I mean, this Tufts offensive line does do a great job providing him with time. If he can stand and fire for quick game, maybe it can take the weight off his leg.
So 3rd and 8, and the return of the starting star quarterback, Michael Berluti. And a 3rd down conversion could really essentially end this game. We'll see if it is a pass, but either way, high stakes. Berluti, play action, rolls right, throws in between 2 guys and almost intercepted. A dangerous pass.
Yikes, that could have flipped the script of this game really fast. But, I mean, there you are. I didn't question, but, I laid out the decision-making maybe on that 4th down to punt, the analytics of do I have a better chance of getting a 3-and-out stop or converting this 4th down. And they were right in thinking they could get a stop here, maybe with the backup quarterback in. But
so now, they got the stop. They're going to punt the ball away. They're going to get the ball back. 4 minutes, 19 seconds before this punt. Punt is up. It's going to bounce at around the 50. They'll let it roll, and it'll be down at around the 40-yard line, right at the 40. So you take over at the 40. You got to score a touchdown. You got to get the ball back, and you got to score again, although it could be a field goal. They have their work cut out for them.
I mean, a lot of times what teams will opt for
the field goal first.
Is the field goal first, because then you get the chance at the onside kick, and when you get the ball back, you can just take shots at the end zone. Obviously, with 4 minutes left and 3 timeouts, though, if you score a touchdown or a field goal in a timely manner, and you can kick the ball deep to Tufts and use those timeouts to get the ball back rather than taking an onside kick. We'll see what they elect to do. We'll see what they elect to do if they get in that situation. They got a long ways to go before they do.
And keep in mind, they've missed 2 field goals already today, so we'll see what the faith looks like in the kicker. They're throwing 1st and 10. Moran is sacked.
And that's not a great start to this drive for Middlebury, but a wonderful energy booster for this Tufts defense. A great sack, getting pressure off the edge and sheds his tackle.
Javier Rios, the grad student, comes in and makes a huge play. They're going to have to run up and snap it. Here is Moran. He's rolling. He gets hammered. He throws it out of bounds. But the Tufts defense is fired up. Jalen Hill got in there and set up a very quick third and very long.
Great job from this Tufts defensive line, stepping up when you need them most. This is where you got to have your defensive back sit back, and so you're only rushing 3 or 4, and if they can get home and get pressure, that's a game changer, and that's what they're doing right here.
Tufts defense hasn't generated a whole lot of sacks this year, but the defensive coaches have consistently communicated that they do have a lot of faith in this group and the effort that they play with. It doesn't always come through in terms of sacks, but as you can see right there, a lot of pressure and sets up a 3rd and 16. Moran having a very hard time getting anything going through the air. He will look to pass. He's moving around in the pocket. He'll throw to nobody. Out of bounds. The intended target was Jeremy Kiefer, but he didn't have a chance to catch that one, and the punt team is coming back on.
They're going to have to punt here again. I don't know about this decision. I mean, 4th and 16 is dire territory. That's almost impossible, but I mean, man, you're punting to this Tufts team, and a first down basically wins you the game.
The only saving grace is you do have all 3 timeouts, so your hope is that regardless, you can maybe get the ball back, and at that point, if you can score, you can, kick an onside kick and try to figure it out. But yeah, not a great situation. Punt now. Going to be very short, probably near the 40-yard line. Moore never had a chance to return that one, maybe with intent. And now 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. 10 points still the margin between Tufts and Middlebury. And as you said, I mean, you come out here, you run the ball, you get a first down, and that all but does it, although 3 timeouts still left for Middlebury.
Some special teams woes today for Middlebury, though. The missed field goal, really poor on the punting unit as well. It's just makes it difficult on your defense to recover and make up for your special teams issues. And you're down now 10 when you could have been maybe down 7 if you made one of the field goals. It's been tough on all fronts for Middlebury today.
1st and 10. Rush forward and breaking tackles. Shapiro pushed through an army of Middlebury defenders to pick up the first down. Shapiro has gained a lot of speed here late in the game. He found a hole on the left side and made the Middlebury defense pay. You will notice it is Luke Leongas in at quarterback, so they do seem comfortable with the backup in, given the injury suffered by the starter Berluti earlier in this quarter. The clock now under 3 minutes, no timeout called by Middlebury. It'll get down around 10 seconds left on the play clock, get down to around 2:40 if they can get this snap off. And at that point, here comes the Tufts offense. They're hurrying up to the line. 1 second on the play clock. They don't get the snap off. Timeout, Tufts. And now Berluti looks to re-enter the game.
I mean, I think, up 10 points, maybe you want to give Berluti like his final moments as a jumbo, but, something to be said for giving Leongas, who's sat now for 4 years, one last drive before this clock winds out in what looks to be the end of the ball game, really. Be pretty remarkable if Middlebury could get another possession, let alone get 2 possessions to come back from down 10 points.
Yeah, would certainly be a tall hill to climb. It is Leongas, however. It will not be Berluti. I think Berluti just being a good team player, getting the team hype on the sideline. I think it'll be a run regardless of who's in at quarterback. Shapiro remains in the backfield, 2:39 on the clock. Shapiro gets the ball, keeps his legs churning, and gains a couple. See if a timeout gets called by Middlebury. It does. So now we will play the timeout game.
Well, worth noting that they essentially have 4 timeouts with the 2-minute warning. So there would be, you get a stop here and get a stop in another, and then maybe you keep 1 timeout at the 2-minute warning, get the ball back.
And we've seen this second half a lot of Christian Shapiro, and he's certainly had a game, especially in the second half. We looked at the last 2 weeks coming in. He has been on a roll, 109 and 2 touchdowns against Colby, 131 and a touchdown versus Williams. Right now today, he's got 19 for 59, which isn't exactly the sexiest stat line, but all of that almost has come here in the fourth quarter, and he's been a guy that they've been able to rely on. Really a breakout season for Shapiro, and it should be capped off with a cornerstone performance in a win over another 6-2 team. So we've, even when Shapiro doesn't have the greatest of games, it's clear this team has a lot of faith in him, and he's someone that they look to on really any down situation. He's in the backfield, and he'll get the ball right here, though he is brought down quite quickly. Should see another timeout from Middlebury, and we do.
Yeah, now you're sitting on a 3rd and long. I think you have to run it again just to force Middlebury to use their final timeout, at least, or a short pass, keep it in bounds, but something that forces them to use their final remaining timeout, and then they'll get the ball back with the 2-minute warning in their favor if a first down's not picked up here.
So game is not over yet, although the odds are pretty low for Middlebury.
Yeah, I bet if we had the ESPN chance to win the game analytics, it would be showing up with roughly in the upper 98% here for Tufts.
Yeah, a 2-possession lead with under 3 minutes left is usually a safe lead, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know in the NESCAC. I feel like
we've seen some crazy things
happen all the time.
And this was a Middlebury team, of course, that tied for the NESCAC championship. They shared the NESCAC championship last year with Trinity. They have a championship pedigree. Jumbos haven't been able to climb that hill in recent years. This year, if they win this game, will be the closest they've gotten as the runner-up. Now 3rd and 10. Will be a pass for Leongus. Rolls out right. He's just going to keep it. He's going to tuck it. He's going to slide. Sideline wants a flag. They think that he got hit while he was sliding. Either way, timeout is going to be called by Middlebury. Didn't see a flag come in. They got to spot it. Think it'll be short of the first. 2 minutes 14 left on the clock. 3rd and 2. 4th and 3 after a gain of 7.
Now, I wonder if you go for it here, just thinking that if you can pick up 3 yards, the game is over. But
if not, yeah, the field goal doesn't really matter, and because it's still a 2-possession game, I suppose it matters a little bit, but the field position will be roughly the same. You're not really going to punt it.
Well, maybe Von Seelig wants another shot at the record, potentially.
That's also a fair point. But it does look like the offense will be back on the field. So Von Seelig's record is not of the priority of the team right now. Instead, it will be a 4th down and an attempt to convert. Unless they're just looking to draw the defense off. No, they'll snap it. Leongus. Sacked. Brought down after dancing around in the pocket.
Well, Middlebury has life now. 2 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock. You have the 2-minute warning. You're on the 40-yard line. You got to drive here. This is where that kind of situational, do we kick the field goal, do we go for the touchdown, comes into play. But before all that, you got to set up some complete passes. Last time they had the ball, they just took shots straight down the field, right over the head of their wide receiver multiple times. Something easier than that for sure to start this drive off.
Dave Filius got in on that sack, his 6th of the year, as he looks to secure another all-NESCAC appearance once this season is over. You're right, last drive, we really just saw, let's chuck it downfield, see if we can get a go route. Had no luck on that, and the Tufts defensive line generated a fair amount of pressure. Now you need to get something going. Moran, sacked immediately on the play, dragged down to the ground.
Great job from Tufts. Only rushing 3 here. Somehow getting pressure with 6 offensive linemen in there blocking. A fantastic job, and you really now put put Middlebury in a tough spot with the 2-minute warning here.
That was Javier Rios, his second sack in as many possessions, and that one looked identical. So the first pushed the lineman down the field, slide back up, and take advantage of the quarterback's movement in the pocket. So Rios having an impact game in his senior day game as well. And now we've reached the 2-minute warning, and in these must-pass situations for Middlebury, they have been unable to really do anything at all, and a lot of credit due to both the Tufts defensive line and the Tufts secondary, which has all but locked down several talented receivers on this Middlebury team.
Yeah, this Middlebury offensive line needs to step up a little here and give your quarterback time to go through his reads and let the routes develop. Tufts is going to be playing off, allowing you to complete underneath, but any longer breaking route is going to need the time to develop. And if you can get pressure with 3 guys, you're feeling fine.
2nd and 15 now. Moran throwing down to the sideline, again looking for Jeremy Kiefer, and again, not really very close.
Yeah, this has not been Moran's day. That moves him to 10 for 28 for 83 yards on the day. That is not a total that you're happy with as a quarterback. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself a little bit, but now's the time to salvage it a bit and get some completions going. You don't want to set yourself up again with another 4th and 15.
3rd and 15 now. He's throwing to the sideline over the head of Patrick Jamin. A lot of just floating balls with little velocity out of bounds so far today. And again, this is a guy that came in today with 1,884 yards, 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, nearly 60% in terms of completion percentage. We have not seen that. And now it will set them up with that 4th and 15. They haven't looked short. They haven't looked anywhere other than incomplete recently or a sack.
Haven't looked anywhere other than incomplete. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Just haven't even put a ball on target, really.
Now, 4th and 15 for the game. He'll throw short. It is caught, and he's forced out of bounds with a big hit at the end of the play. That'll be a turnover on downs from Jeremy Kiefer, and that will likely be the ball game.
Big stick from Henry Forelli there, cleaning up Kiefer. But this should be the time when a bunch of seniors can get in here for this Tufts offense. And a lot to be happy about today in a dominant win. Really never let Middlebury take control of this game, and it was Tufts all the way.
And although the championship was already out of grasp, we knew the winner of the Wesleyan Trinity game was going to get a hold of that. It is still a worthwhile accomplishment and a huge win for this Tufts program that has gone through a lot over the last couple of years and has really been unable to get over that final barrier, as Berluti is the one to kneel and end this season and end his senior season. It has been an incredible 4 years with Berluti at the helm of the offense. Wesleyan defeated Trinity 27-17 today, meaning that Wesleyan will be your 2024 NESCAC champions. The powerhouse that is Trinity will be unable to repeat their co-championship from last year. And Wesleyan is a team that beat Tufts earlier this season. 27-17 is the final score in that Wesleyan and Trinity game as Berluti kneels out one more time. Again, it has been an era of success in this Tufts program that we really haven't seen before, and this will culminate with a runner-up finish in the NESCAC this year.
Yeah, this is huge in college football where you're turning over classes year after year. Winning seasons like this with 7 wins or more, when you're competing, second in the NESCAC, that brings in more recruits. You get more funding to your program. Things have just really turned around during Civetti's tenure. They trusted the program, trusted the process, and stuck with them, and now they're reaping the benefits. These seniors will be really happy. This is the first time they've ever gotten over the 6-win total in a season, finishing at 7-2 on the season. A heck of a day for the Jumbos, and what a win.
Berluti hugs his top receiver, Cade Moore. The team embraces in a 17-7 win over Middlebury. They will be the runners-up in the NESCAC. This will finish off the career of several stars of this Tufts program who have really showed up every weekend for the past several years and given their all, and they have found success because of that. Again, a win to finish this season off is what everyone was looking for, and there's still so much to look forward for with this team going forward. While Berluti may be graduating, and while a lot of top guys on the defense, Lewis Timmons, Henry Forelli, Will Duncanson, they might be graduating. There are still talent upcoming. We saw Keller Rogers today with a touchdown. I think we'll be seeing a lot of that in the future. We saw Christian Shapiro. He's been the bell cow. We'll see that as well. We've seen C.J. Burton, Matt Rios. All these guys have the ability to take another step forward, and hopefully that is what we will see. Unfortunately, it will not be me and Henry the ones calling those games in the future. So we want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning in to JumboCast this season and past seasons. It's been a pleasure. Again, the Jumbos will walk out of here with a win. We're going to be cutting down to an interview on the sideline pretty soon, and then we'll take it back up here to say goodbye one final time. So we'll see you real soon.
Welcome back here to the Jumbo Zone. I'm Riley Daniel, joined by Luke Leongas, the unsung hero of today's game. Luke, gotta ask, what was it like when Coach Chivetti gave you the call and said, all right, come in there, lead this team?
Coach Sivs always preaches to treat the weak like your first string, and I've been doing that for the last 4 years. So he gave me the call. I know he has a bunch of trust in me. He's been preaching it for the last 4 years, and I stepped in there and just did what I did. Felt comfortable. That's it.
Let's talk about what you did, because that drive ended up being the difference. That drive that you guys seemingly had struggled offensively for 2 whole quarters, and then that drive, you and Cade just couldn't seemingly miss on the same page on every play.
Yeah, it's just repetition during the week. The coaches do such a great job preparing us. I went in there. I knew everything that was going on. They had trust in me. They let me sling the rock a little bit, and that was it. Shout out to Cade, great route, and also shout out to Mike. Unbelievable career here. I've been his backup for 4 years. I wish him the best. He's the best. So yeah.
And what is kind of the feeling? You guys obviously the most wins, tied for the most wins of any season in the last 45 years for the program. But this is it, right? This is the end of the career. What's the feeling walking away knowing how far you guys have come from a 4-5 team your freshman year to here 7-2, tied for second in the NESCAC?
It's unbelievable. I mean, this senior class is just special. It's different. It's nothing I've ever been a part of. And I just love each and every one of them. The underclassmen, too, just trusting us, letting us lead, following us, and us leading by example. That's really it. This senior class is just unbelievable.
All right, Luke. Well, I'm going to let you go enjoy, celebrate
Perfect.
the win with your team. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Go Jumbos, baby.
That was Luke Leongas, the unsung hero coming in at quarterback for the Jumbos today. I'd like to thank the other members of my Jumbo Zone crew, Jake Flossie directing, and Noah Goldstein on the cam. I'm going to send it back upstairs to Jared Cohen and Henry Burns for some closing thoughts.
Thank you, Riley, and thank you, Luke. This is Jared Cohen and Henry Burns one last time after this 17-7 victory over Middlebury. This is going to be a wrap on the 2024 Tufts University Jumbos football season. We thank you all for listening along. It has been an absolute pleasure for us to be along there with you. 4 years as a commentator for this Tufts football team. Henry in his second year as a commentator for this Tufts football team. We've had so much fun. And as we are graduating seniors, this will be our last time on the mic for this sport as well. So again, thank you to everyone who took their time to listen in. We hope you enjoyed. This was a wonderful season for the Tufts program, and it ends with a wonderful victory over Middlebury. So to everyone involved, thank you very much. Our director today, Max Antonini, Sophia Khan, our camera people, Micah and Riley on the Jumbo Zone, and Ariel, who filled in last second today with a last-second person dropped out. She came through for us, so we thank everyone who worked on the JumboCast production today and through every day this season. Again, thank you to all of our viewers. We've had such a pleasure, and that's a wrap on the season. My name is Jared Cohen. I've been with Henry Burns. Please stay home safely and have a great week.